Oh,
I can't remember.
you even dirty like this?
Wow.
Hi guys, welcome back. Episode 2. You know what time it is already. The 22 Codcast. We're here. The first one was a hit, so we're back. We're here with the boys. We got the owners. And we've also got some special guests for today. But before we get into that, some special news, long-awaited news, stuff that we've been teasing. It's finally here. I'm proud to say the 1st of May, tomorrow, is the launch of the 22 clothing. The website will be live. These right here, you can grab them yourself. We're here.
Do you know what time? Give him an estimate.
Yeah,
12 midday.
Midday?
Callum, that's a
Midday it
big
is.
ask.
Nah,
Big
it's
ass
already,
12.
isn't it?
You heard it here first, stream! You heard it here first!
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Right, that's
Midday!
it. I'll hold you to it.
Because
I
Jack's
will
not going
hold
to be
you to
awake.
it.
He's
Yeah, I'll
like,
not be
"No, no,
awake.
push it back."
The 1st of May at midday.
As soon as he wakes up,
Not
makes it go
east.
live.
Less than 24 hours.
So, can we go through it? Callum, is it a pre-order basis, or do we have so many hoodies? Is there a limit? Is there a
What's
certain amount?
the
Is
You
there-
mean when they sell out?
Yeah. And how
I know
quickly
you
they
guys.
sell out?
I know you guys. I know you guys.
Oh, Buff, you muted on stream.
Oh, sort it out.
Oh, Callum.
You're right.
Wow.
Oh,
Amateur
Start
hour.
again.
Amateur
Start
hour.
again.
Start again.
Listen, if you guys want to sort out the stream yourselves, you can do that. My pleasure.
Right,
I've been
Callum,
sat here stressed.
Start again for my question.
Right.
Reload inside.
it was only Callum that was muted. We're good.
Well done,
Brooks.
I love
Thanks
it.
for the follow.
He's coming.
So yeah, they're gonna go live midday Monday tomorrow, on a pre-order basis. So when they sell out, they sell out. Like there's no there's a limited amount. You know, you keep going. If they're sold out, they're sold out. You can't get any more. That's it. They're gone. So get them.
Not forever, may I add. That
No,
won't be
no,
forever.
not forever.
No.
But get them as quickly and as early as possible because I do have a feeling that we might possibly sell out.
Mhm.
Get your
hopefully.
wallets out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
there's not a limit of how many one person can buy.
No.
You just when they're gone, they're gone. So buy as many as you want, however many times. Just get them in early.
Think of it as a big Royal Rumble to get the hoodies.
And no buying 20 of them and reselling them on, yeah?
No.
None of that.
what are we
We're
saying?
back into this here.
Are we saying black hoodie, purple bear being the most popular combo? Do you think?
Yeah.
Oh,
or green.
100%,
Or
mate.
green.
Close.
I don't know. Green
Green,
might be
yeah.
up there.
Nah, Amethyst is clear in COD and out of it, mate. Out of it as well.
Don't fucking give Lewis any more an ego that he's got already.
Hey, we deserve that ego, man. Nasty.
It's a combination, though, isn't it? To be fair,
Yeah.
can't lie.
Callum, what was the overall limit? Is it 50 in each colour?
Yeah.
Or
Oh, we can't say that, can we?
it's
What?
just when they're
no,
gone, they're
no,
gone.
Fuck,
You don't know how many.
There's
no, I ain't saying that.
Okay.
No.
There's no limit. That you just
First come,
order.
first serve.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Brooks has saved me a hoodie.
Excuse me,
He
Will.
will, sir. We'll save you a
Brooks with a
hoodie.
first time chat says, save me a hoodie.
Will do, boss man.
Could be arranged.
Yeah. Before we get our guests in, are we gonna have a quick recap of
Yep. Last
recap
week.
of last week? Yeah.
Start things off, Jack. Go on. Start things off. Kick
I
them off.
must say, I was very, very impressed. And normally, I don't like listening to my own voice, but I watched that about 3 times.
I don't think I watched it back.
I don't think
I-
you did.
I
That's-
did. I
didn't-
loved it.
I didn't watch it
Wow,
back.
Unbelievable.
I can't
I
listen
just-
to stuff.
I
See-
clicked on it to get that viewership, but I don't think I.
So,
I think I
See,
clicked for
it
the
just,
team of the week, but yeah.
Just rolling off the tongue, it was unbelievable.
Mm.
The production on it was great. Although,
Yeah.
Callum, we were in the wrong screen for the whole thing. We live and we learn.
Hey,
when
New
you're
to
on
the
the
game.
platform now.
Like I said,
New
if
to the
anyone wants to take the mast, you can do so.
Right,
No,
what
he's done a good job.
I will say for if there's any new first time viewers in here as well, people that may have seen it, might go live on Spotify and YouTube. So if you do miss this, don't you worry, we got you covered. Everything's going to be
And,
uploaded every week.
Every Thursday, 6 p.m., they will go live YouTube and Spotify.
6 p.m. Thursday.
Yep.
That's
Remember
something
it.
to
Save it.
watch.
Oh,
Um,
mate, we're doing the most. Doing the most.
should we recap this week's games, or
Mm.
No,
should we get
No.
a guess in first?
Because he
I
had a
don't
rough
think we
one.
should. I don't think we should. I think we got something else special planned before we recap the games.
Yep.
Should we get them in?
I think we
Yeah.
should. I mentioned we got some
Do it.
guests. I think it's time. Roll them in here. Get him in.
Here we go. Welcome.
They're here. The boys are here.
Hey there, boys.
So,
Sappy.
Evening.
people,
We have
for
we
the
have
people
got
watching,
one missing. Let me just say
Well
this. We
Really?
have one missing.
Oh, we
Don't
do.
Who's missing?
Yes.
Where is
Where's
he?
Where's he gone?
I'm guessing he was on his console, so when it dragged him, it.
He was on his console.
Oh,
Put him in.
Oh,
Jesus
wow.
Christ.
It's a bit like his COD career.
Oh, too soon, by the way, too soon.
Right, but before we start anything, obviously, the people in the stream don't actually know who's in here.
And he's here.
Here we
So-
go.
Yeah.
For guests this week, we have got our well, not our first LAN team actually, but
Oh.
our only LAN team to get top 3. Our old Emerald team. So welcome, boys.
X22 Emerald.
How are we?
Zappy,
How are we?
Wilco, Carl, and Zixties.
Hi.
Best in the business, really, if you think about it.
Well,
Gotta be.
Well,
not
you
anymore for
was.
you.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Could have been, but
Tense.
But
Welcome to the
Yeah.
podcast, boys. This is a pleasure
Thanks
to
for
have you.
having us. Thanks for having us.
so
An absolute pleasure, mate.
we'll kick
Good
it
to
straight
be here.
off with a question for you boys. Whoever wants to take reign, take reign.
Right.
But we would like to know, and we'd like you guys to tell the stream, how did you boys come about as friends, as a team? Where did it all
Fuck
start?
it now.
How did you meet? Who brought who in?
Roll the
Well,
history back.
Basically,
Me and
Ethan's
me and
mum-
Ethan 60s, right? No, you go, Brandon. You go. You
Oh,
speak.
sorry as well. Well, actually, no, Connor, you're first. You met Ethan first.
Yeah, I've known Ethan since I was like fucking what? 4?
Ethan being Zixty, for those that don't know.
Literally, we went to fucking nursery together, primary school, secondary school.
Oh,
mate,
so you're
known them all-
IRLs.
Yeah, literally IRLs. Yeah,
Ah.
we've known each other for many years. And I still hate him.
So you two are a
Well,
team of two for a long time. Played
Yeah, literally.
pretty much most CODs together.
and then I knew an IRL that was friends with them and played with them at the time, and then I just sort of got not dragged into the group, but I put myself in the group pretty much.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah,
I put
wasn't
myself in most
invited.
situations. Yeah, I just sort of forced myself in.
Just that
Um,
lo-
Mine,
lost,
Carol, all
lost
they
kid
said
that
was,
got,
we
dropped
need a
on the
hell
bus.
bitch.
Yeah, that's about it. And then obviously Woko didn't play in Vanguard, so it was me, Zixties and Zappy, and then Tank at the
And
time.
Tank, yeah.
And then we decided
Oh.
we were going to go with Woko for this COD, and then we sort of just
Because for me, I always just thought Woko was just a new pickup. I didn't know that there was any
no.
pre ties, and you'd played with them for a
Did
long
you just
time.
not play Vanguard, Connor? Or
Yeah, I literally just didn't play it. Yeah, I just didn't enjoy it.
No, fair enough.
Friends with Call of Duty.
I mean, I can't blame you. Vanguard was not a great time to be alive.
So how did Zappy come along? How did he get picked
Well,
up?
Ethan met me when I was 14 on.
Whoa.
Groomed you from
Oh,
earlier.
oh.
IW, was it IW? I think IW. Ethan met me, and I just sort of got pulled into the group.
Just in a
Well-
random pub lobby or a GB?
8.
No,
I think it was
top
8.
of
Move into the player.
Yeah,
It was just
was it
8s, wasn't it? Or was it?
Yeah,
a
yeah, and then in the TVs and the stuff like that, then pro points and all that, and then here we are today, just vibing.
Nice. So then
So it's
you
fucking mental.
three, Ethan. So you got Zixties, Woko, Zappy, team of 3. How do you find Carl?
Wow, to be fair, this is the first time I've ever teamed with Brandon.
Ah, so
I
first
sort of
blood.
liked it.
Yeah,
So basically, like, it came to
go on,
like
you
Cold
explain your
War
story,
and all.
Connor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all of like there's so many different CODs where I just didn't compete because I didn't like it. So I didn't compete in Cold War, didn't compete in Black Ops 4. What else didn't I play?
Oh,
That's
you
like
just
it,
don't
really,
play
isn't it?
COD,
Like
or you
Call of
play it for
Duty
2
in
months and then give
general.
up.
Yeah, literally.
me-
I like
every
I play a
every
year, then
time-
have a break.
Yeah, every time me and Brandon seemed to be on the team, Connor just didn't want to play.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Okay, so
And then-
you decide you're a team of 4 going into Modern Warfare 2. Give us a little rundown of how your first few seasons went. What did you get? 2 2 seasons in before the LAN event. Was that right?
Yeah, I think
No,
the
it's
LAN
just
was
one
midway
season.
through. Yeah, the LAN
Mm.
was midway through season 2.
Oh yeah.
Season 1 was pretty well. Like a lot of the admins were like surprised that we wanted to go Div 2. Like, which thing about it now, we probably could have got Div 3 and got away with it and probably won it, but we were happy with Div 2. We thought we were probably Div 2 level. Got third in that.
So how do you decide I'm going to sign up for Div 2 when you were playing? What was the Div 5 of the Vanguard ACC? I know you picked up Woco, and that maybe gives your team a bit of different dynamic. But you weren't struggling in Div 5, but towards the end, but there was a few teams in that Div 5 that was as good as you guys. How come you thought let's go higher up?
I think it was probably because that the teams that played in that Div 5 and Vanguard, they went Div 2 as well.
So like Terry Cod and them, and
Terry's team was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, when I thought.
So we just kind of followed them. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. So then you start season 1. What did you get? Top 3 was it?
Yeah,
Third,
We
Top
seemed
3.
to play Fuse about 5 times that season, so
Yeah.
became a bit of a rivalry then.
Yeah.
I think we lost to the eventual winners. I think so.
So then so you get top 3 going into now. I don't know if anybody else can confirm, but at what point you were already signed up for season 2 before there was any talk of a LAN event? Was that right, or was there?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. So you're signed up for season 2, just normal. When halfway through season 2, then there is an announcement for a LAN event that you boys thought let's sign up for.
Do it. Let's go.
Yeah. What made you boys?
I think what it was is like Brandon never played a LAN. He's of age now. We've always wanted to play a LAN with him. Like me and Ethan's played on LAN together before. Carl's been to LAN. It was just like a no-brainer, really.
Yeah.
And then at the time, like it was only going to be like an 8-team event at the time. So we thought like looking at the teams that were signed up and interested, we were thinking like this could be free. Like, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then obviously with the amount of people that they got signed up, it then became a 16-team event, and then we seen some more teams sign up, and we're like, all right, well, could be a bit trickier now, but hey, we'll still go and still make a decent go of it, and I'm glad we did, to be fair, because it was a good weekend.
Yeah. Let's talk about the games that were played in the LAN.
Yeah.
Go through the results.
So before we start that, for those that don't know, one of you explain where the LAN was, the org that was running the LAN, and the kind of just the overall setup of it.
So the LAN was a criminals one, and it was like a Gamac centre in Rotterdam, Den Haag, and it was only meant to be 8 teams, and they got 16.
So 16 teams signed up for Rotterdam. I think when it's a LAN event that's based in the Netherlands, there's not just probably a few UK teams that travelled out for it.
Yeah.
What was it, only 2 or 3 overall? That
I think it was like 2 or 3, and then like you had like 2 or 3 French teams, and the rest were like Dutch.
Yeah,
I think it was literally just 2. It was us and
there was only 2 UK teams. There was us
there was only 2 teams.
I can't remember the name, but they were sat on the far side.
Yeah. So, you boys obviously think, because the LAN event that comes up, obviously we're not really blessed in the EU with too many LAN events. So this one comes up, and you thought it's not too far of a place to travel to, and perhaps travel getting there was a little bit easier money-wise. Was that?
We booked it really early as well, so I think the LAN was in March. We knew we were going in January, so we had the good point of booking things early.
From the Netherlands, we booked it.
So obviously Connor was in charge of sorting out all the travelling stuff and got all the screenshot and
I was just Ethan. I thought Ethan was the man. Yeah, taking charge.
Me and Ethan were in the Discord till like 4 a.m. just planning Brandon's journey, Cole's journey.
Timster, I'll get to that question in a minute, but I'm going to take this a little bit now. Before we get into the games, I just want to ask one more thing, because obviously you said with it being Brandon's first time on LAN, a lot of people probably here like us, we haven't played on LAN. Maybe some of the people in the stream.
Yeah, we have.
What are the? We have. And the owners beat the Germans, but there you go. But like, talk to us about the pressures, and maybe pressures from playing under an org as well. Like, what is there any pressures in being on LAN? Is it just sort of the same as being in your divs?
I mean, on a personal level, I think on a team level, no. Like, people may have struggled personally, like Brandon being nervous his first time. But the rest of us have all played before. Like, I was nervous my first time. I'm sure Carl and Connor were as well. But I feel like just the group of people we are, and we've been playing together for so long now. I think it just,
It's just
I didn't really feel
natural,
nervous at all. And as soon as
yeah.
you start screaming, like the nerves will go. I
Yeah.
find so you just
I feel like
go
I
in with
play like
confidence, you'll be
10
fine.
times better when I have an audience as well. Like when
Yeah.
I have people
Yeah.
watching, like I just have like
Gets
something
you
to
riled
prove,
up.
do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
that's the
definitely.
thing. Like, I was just wondering if there's any pressure. Obviously, we was probably the like most supported team there. So obviously, with us behind you, I didn't know if there was just be any other like significant pressures outside of the game.
Well,
that you feel, or...
I think the performance in the first game, I think there probably was a bit of nerves. We may not have felt it, but the
Yeah.
performance wasn't great. We come out with a win in the end, but
There was certainly no nerves
I
from
think-
Brandon.
yeah,
No,
On that first map,
It was
yeah.
great. I was
With
like,
90 kills in the first 2 maps.
After the first match, couldn't stop shaking the whole time. Had music in and couldn't focus. I had
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about the difference then that you've not played on LAN before, Brandon, Zappy. The others have, and for the other boys as well. How different is it playing on LAN?
Mate, see when you're on a kitchen table chair, sat where your monitor on top of drawer, and you're on a PlayStation 5 with wireless connection compared to a PC that works, bullets that connect instantly, and you're not dying when you shoot 15 bullets first. It's night and day, mate. I was
Yeah,
shooting
legit.
first, and
I'll
the guys
put
were
it this way,
dying, I
right?
was like, oh my god.
Just to
It's
summarize,
great.
like one of the reasons I'm not playing anymore, LAN ruined online COD for me. It absolutely ruined it.
You come back from the LAN and it's just
Li-
you said the
literally.
downgrade again, isn't it? Then and
This-
you're
Yeah,
this game is insane on LAN. Like it actually is a really good game on LAN, but
I also think
Yeah.
what was good for us is that we made the decision to go a day before to the LAN centre just to get like
Get
sort
used
of a feel for the
Well,
place and get used to
oh
it. And,
yeah,
like,
we had
tried
so much
to, yeah.
practice.
yeah, like so it wasn't going to be
I
a
guess
surprise when we
Tyson
turned up on the
smoked you.
Saturday. So
It was good for some to get some
I
practice
can
before
vouch
the
for
LAN.
that.
Right,
Using the
so-
Vaznev on LAN is like one of
Oh,
the
it's a
fucking
joke.
Vaz
oh, it's
12.
insane,
My
mate. Yeah,
God.
It's a
literally,
cheat code,
literally is a
absolute
shotgun,
cheat
yeah.
code. Yeah.
Talk to us about the games then, and like, obviously there's a comment in here as well. It's just from from Timster asking Carl about the bagger control.
I'm never going to live that bagger control down. I actually
No.
can't. Like,
Listen, I was stood behind watching it, and I just had my head in my hands, mate. It was a bit like, oh.
So you had how many group games? Just talked about how the groups were split.
I think it was it two groups of eight? Two groups of eight, so we would have played
Yeah,
7 games.
7 games, yeah.
A pretty good mixture as well of like different skill levels. I think the other group was a bit tougher than ours, to be fair. I think in the
Yeah,
other group
yeah.
you had the winners that were like Ali,
That's it,
Swaggy.
so, yeah,
Yeah, but yeah,
Um,
you had both
Shuriken,
finalists in that
nobody
group
or something.
too.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I think the
both
hardest team in our group was like Sharpster and then obviously Timster.
Yeah.
Their two teams. So
Was Sharpster's team with Leedsy on? Was that the right? Is that them?
Lidesy, yeah.
Yeah,
Leedsy,
yeah.
yeah. So, so a team that people may know. So going into the groups, obviously you get your groups before you even travel out there. Were there many teams? Did you scrim many teams before, or did you
Scrimmed
think
2.
the? Yeah,
we
you're
scrimmed
looking at some
people
teams and
behind us,
thinking,
like 4 times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair,
which gave us a bit of confidence going into it that we knew that we'd be taking
Yeah,
some maps off.
we scrim both French teams, and then we scrim Mr. Rave's team as well, and that was it. Yeah.
Brave.
So what was
Oh,
your?
memories.
kind
We
of-
know we scrimmed
yeah.
that the guy using the GA shit. Remember what's
Yeah,
his
GA
name?
Yeah,
Barrow.
the French guy behind us.
Oh,
yeah.
the French guys who sat
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah.
Remember them
Using
as well.
G8 under barrels and having a coach telling them that we're rotating through the middle of the map. Excuse me.
Yeah.
What did you have an expectation of where you'd want to finish? Did you have a goal in your own minds?
We
Yeah.
went into it wanting to get out the groups and sort of make
Yeah.
bracket play. Anything above that would have been a bonus. So,
Well-
which is kind of what we said going into our last couple of games of the group. We were like, because there was a point in the LAN event which I don't know if you want to go on to later on, but there was a point where there was a protest in Den Haag Central, and they were saying it was top 4 went through from groups, and then they ended up changing it to top 2 during the day.
Yeah.
So obviously, like we were in a position
Pressure
where we were
there.
like 3rd, 4th.
Yeah.
So we went up to the admins and gone like, not being funny, but like this has sort of ruined us. Like,
Yeah.
is there any chance you can overrule this decision? And I think me and Callum went up and like spoke to her when she was like quite like sympathetic and understanding, and luckily she reversed the decision back to top 4, which obviously was crucial for us
I
because
think they had some concerns, didn't they? There's some security concerns for people getting home, travelling
Yeah.
back,
yeah,
because it being at a one-day event. So I kind of understand their thought
Yeah.
process, but I'm glad they reverted the
I must
decision. then,
say,
The
because
thing is, like
the-
most of the teams that travel down to there were staying there the night anyway, so it made
Yeah.
made no difference really.
And I'll just add on that as well. Like, the whole issue they had with that and how they dealt with other stuff as well. Like the admin team and like criminals themselves ran such a good event that weekend. Like,
Yeah, I
Agreed.
agree.
yeah,
Shout out to them.
I was about to
the
say,
admins were
like,
class.
yeah, hands up for them because they were unbelievable on the day. The way they went around things was incredible.
They stuck to the rules as well,
Yeah.
which was the best thing.
And they were
Like, there
always
wasn't-
there as well. Like they were always available. They weren't hiding or like stuff like that.
Yeah,
How did you find the schedule? Because if I'm right in saying it was pretty much like a hop off your series, quick break, go straight into the next one. Was it?
Well,
I didn't
well,
mind
yeah,
it,
great, was
personally.
It was like a play a series, go for a McDonald's, go back for another series.
Well, it was tough because it was in the schedule that you'd get off, you'd have a little break, then you'd game. But because of how bad the servers were, it was you'd get off, but then you'd have to get into another game. But that game wouldn't start for another half an hour, 45 minutes because of the servers. But you still have to be at your.
But
I also think what didn't help was our first game was meant to be streamed, but because
That's
we
what I
were
was about
first
to say,
game on, like
Yeah.
we were delayed 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that naturally didn't help anyway. So we were
Yeah.
already playing catch up. So
back.
there was times where we didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
get a break, but we
How
sort
long
of forced
were we-
ourselves into a break.
How long were we in the venue for that whole day?
About
Uh,
12, 13 hours.
10 in the morning.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna
15
say-
hours. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
15 hours. It was.
Yeah,
It was
I was gonna say it's
nuts.
got to be closer to about 16 actually. But
Yeah,
15.
Yeah.
15 hours of Call of Duty.
In
Like,
there as well.
be
The
fair,
AC
like,
wasn't
it-
great.
Yeah, it was brutal. Like everyone sort of compacted in together, but like it wasn't as bad as the previous lands we were taking
Yeah,
to. That
t-
was bad.
talking about like going back to the ACCL when you had like Tolson running about trying to run the LAN event. To this one, it was night and day.
Get that short
was-
again out. Jesus.
Was many monsters drunk throughout the whole day, or did you try
Oh,
to stick
mate.
to sort of water?
Mate.
Oh, mate. What was
but there
that
a lot.
weird one you got? That like what was
Oh,
that?
the
The one that
cola
was
one?
Small one.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
nuts.
Yeah,
The-
the
the-
Macro
like,
Libre one.
Wow.
Oh mate, the coffee one was a lead.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
They have some good monsters in the corner shop right next to that
I
place.
promise you
Nice.
now, chat. I promise you now. I saw saw Ethan drink that. His pupils just went. Meh. He was tired, mate. He had
Oh,
a space.
mate,
You
yeah.
should have seen us in the morning. We went to that shop, and me and Ethan cracked open the coffee one, necked it, and then we're like, right, open
Oh,
the next one.
no, I saw him net that back, and I just seen his pupils just go. I was like,
What was the
"Oh,
It's
Coca-Cola
difficult.
that
I
you
think
got,
that
nuts.
that's got to be praised. I think because it is difficult to be locked in for 12 odd hours of Call of
Yeah,
Duty.
Especially the
Some people
delays we
struggle with
had.
just 4 or 5
Yeah,
hours.
and I
It's,
think it definitely I think we kind of lost a bit of motivation as soon as the packet loss started coming in as well, and I think that
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who
if
did
that
I
wasn't a problem, I do think we could have made the finals.
Jack,
See,
was it you I
from-
asked to go get me 2 Guinness at the last match? I was like that tired, I couldn't focus. I said to Jack, please go get me 2 cans of Guinness. I cracked them open for the last game. We won. Was it we won the first map or we won? Yeah, we won the hard point
You won the
against our
hard
last
point.
game.
You won the hard
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Let's listen
And
to
I got smoked the next 3 maps
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Got like 50 points in like the last map against them.
Yeah.
Genji. match.
Genji.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, I must say, having us owners there, it was the vibiest day I think we've had in a while.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It was so good.
so many videos.
I can
of
imagine
matches,
like
it
the
was-
4 of you sitting just playing COD all day, with no speaking to anyone.
Been saying
I
it for
think it was
years,
quite
mate. It was
boring.
literally
Mate,
one of the
having to
vibiest
listen to
teams you'll
Call
ever.
all day.
You'll
Yeah,
ever see.
literally. Like honestly, a lot of the reason why we went to Amsterdam is because we've known, apart from Carl, we've known each other for like 8 years.
Yeah.
That's why Matt was there as well, because we've known him for a long time, and he just
Mm.
wanted to tag along. And
You know
we were
what?
just
Yeah,
like,
shout out Matt, man. He was class
Yeah.
that weekend.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
like we couldn't have cared about the COD, to be honest. Like we did what we did, and we're proud of what we did. But to be honest, we were just
was also
there
a bit of
just
a
to have
holiday as
fun
well.
with lads.
Nah,
Yeah,
that
it
was,
yeah.
makes
In
me
the
laugh.
2 days, yeah.
Makes me laugh thinking about like the first night we met each other, cuddled each other, and Matt just sat in the corner and never said a word.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
you gotta-
never said a word.
Mate, the thing is though, he literally drove. What was it, like fucking 6 hours back and forth.
Picking me up from Bristol, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
mate,
want
it was-
to. I don't want to bring back some bad memories, but I just want the stream to hear Zappy's journey getting out there.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got-
I'll tell the
You've
story.
got to talk about that.
I'll tell
You
the story.
you tell
The
it, yeah,
original plan, right? The original plan was for us to pick up the boys from Bristol Airport, come back to my house,
This is
do
Carl
some
and
VODs
Brandon
and
pick up
stuff.
from Bristol.
Yeah, so Carl and Brandon, they were flying from where they live to Bristol, which is near where I live. We were going to pick them up, come to mine, have a little sesh, watching VODs and stuff, and then travel to London to get the train to Netherlands. So I get picked up. We get a message from Brandon saying, my flight's slightly delayed. And we're like, sound, yeah, no worries, we'll wait for at the airport. We get to the airport about 3 hours later. We meet Carl, and then we get a message. Brandon's like, my flight's fucking cancelled. And then me and Ethan walk over to, like the boards where we have all the departure times and all that, and it was like Belfast to Bristol cancelled, and I just looked at Ethan and I was like, "You're fucking taking the piss." So we're sat there on the phone. Go on.
There
What'd
was
you
a
say?
snow blizzard at the time, but the worst thing
Yeah.
about it, there was 2 London flights and an Edinburgh. 2 flights or 3 flights taken off right beside me when I'm sat in the plane for 2 hours. Fucking 3 planes take off around me. And the plane
And
take off.
that's not even the worst part there. Remember, his plane took off and then it
Yeah.
turned around, then landed back down because of the fucking ice on the wings.
Oh yeah.
Mate,
So
so
you
then-
actually, so the plane actually took. So you're taking off, going. We're on the way now. We're actually getting out of here.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
and
You get a call from the pilot and say, "Sorry guys, we have to land back at the same
That's
time."
all.
Yeah, and then he kept us
Literally.
on a plane for 2 hours. I was sat on a plane for 2 hours beside this girl.
Yeah.
And we were
Oh,
both
mate.
just sort of like, we looked at each other and I was like, I'm going to lose my mind here. Like, and she's like, yeah, I guess.
At this point, me, Matt, Carl, and Ethan were in the car driving to the train station because we were like, right.
Yeah,
new
you've
plan.
got your trains booked, and yeah.
Exactly. New plan. We were like, Brandon, you just get a flight from Belfast straight to Netherlands in the morning. We're like, yeah, sound all good. Gets to the fucking next day. He sleeps in the airport. First flight is cancelled again whilst we're in fucking Netherlands.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, you're fucking taking the piss.
Yeah,
So
what we're gonna
we're
do?
mate, it was like Mission Impossible. Me,
We're, like,
Matt, Carl,
scrambling,
Ethan.
trying to find
I was fucking calling my girlfriend, asking her to look at flights and shit. And we were scrambling around trying to find, right, this flight, get on this flight. And he's like, no, I can't get on that flight. And then we finally got him on a fucking flight. And when he messaged saying the plane's taken off, oh mate.
It was like
Yeah,
a
what a
350 quid flight as well.
No, because
Like,
Yeah.
originally it
450.
was right. See the Bristol flight the day before. They changed that schedule, so it was to be in the morning. But the Amsterdam flight I bought was like £150 from Belfast straight to Amsterdam. It was cancelled in the morning, and then I got told my flight from Bristol the night before was being moved to the morning, so I had to wait like another.
Oh
3
my
hours.
god, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got to
then, so
Bristol.
what happened? So he's in Belfast. So he flies from Belfast to Bristol in hopes of getting a flight from Bristol to Netherlands. Oh my god.
450. What was it?
I was going to say, yeah,
450,
exactly. Have you
yeah,
managed
it
to
was
get
four-
any
And
sort of
then
money back, or
I would-
did you break even on the flights in the end?
I'm pretty sure it was just like evens or something. I just had to pay
Yeah.
for it and back. But the Bristol had to sit in the airport for like 7 hours, just putting about back and forth. And then the Bristol flight or Bristol to Dam flight was then like fucking delayed for like 3 hours.
Oh my god, yeah. I
And then,
remember.
wait, and then it got delayed again, and then that's when he brought the 450 flight.
and
I got onto the flight and there was like a cabin girl. There must have been about 20 people on the plane. It was a small plane. And there was like 20 people, and the girl said she's going to get us here as quick as she can. 45 minutes.
Oh,
bang.
mate.
I
she
was
flew.
Yeah, it was
She was.
the quickest
yeah.
flight
I watched 2
I've ever
episodes of
seen.
South Park.
Mate,
and
she
I was
hit
there.
she hit fucking
then-
Mach 5 in a Boeing 747, I'm telling you.
And then we paid like 120 euros to get him from the airport to our
Oh my
hotel.
god. Yeah.
My driver had Drake playing the whole time. I was going to lose my mind.
The thing is, right, like, obviously, I travelled with Ollie, so like we set off, and obviously at the time your flights were delayed and everything. We were on the plane, and I turned around to Ollie and I was like, mate, he's still not there, like, Jesus.
It's a bit of a worry. I'm
No,
at home. I'm not. I'm living at the
yeah.
event. And I'm hearing we might not even have Zappy playing. I'm like, oh, this is a disaster.
I'm not
Yeah, just
joking,
imagine
I
how
think-
we fucking fought.
I know.
I was ready to
like,
step up
we
to
had
the
play,
plate.
we had to play a playoff game as well the night before. Like,
Yeah.
and all we were
With
doing was
that,
like messaging
yeah.
Brandon saying like,
Yeah.
then the other team was getting gassed about being us. I'm like, mate, our best player might not be turning up for LAN. Like,
Mate,
I could not care less about this
literally-
playoff
we
game.
didn't sleep in like 30 hours of this
Yeah.
travel. Had to play a fucking league match. I was so slouched back in my chair, like, I just didn't give a fuck. I was
Yeah,
like,
we were
I
just.
do
yeah.
not care less. I
Well,
do
that
not
feeds
care
into
less
what
about
I
this.
was going to say. Like, my flight was only 50 minutes, so then we arrived. I smashed it all the way through. We got there and met you at the night. He was all just, he was just
on the
sat in them,
simulators.
yeah, he was sat in them F1 rigs, just Stacey drained,
Yeah.
just going.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right, lads.
we were like, oh, we'll
Stacey's
go
not
see
here,
him now.
not
We'll go
bothered,
see him at
like-
the we'll go see him at the event and see how their scrims are going. We walk in and you're all just sat on the
You were
F1
looking for us,
simulators,
weren't you?
just
Yeah,
chilling
like,
out.
what the fuck
everywhere.
are
We
they?
walked past them. We walked past them.
Yeah,
looking
we
at all
walked
the- all
past
the
the F1
setups, going,
rigs. We was
"Where are
like,
they?"
nah, they're not there. It was like, well, walk around this corner, see if they're set up sweating. Like, no, we'll do it. We walk around.
With
They're
their
not
feet
there.
up racing cars.
Some guy asked me, "Are you swaggy?" I went, "Nah." And then all of a sudden, I see Shawnee going, "All right, lads." I'm like, "All right."
That
well,
same
I've
guy, I
got-
think, asked all of us if we were
Yeah,
Swaggy.
I
Yeah.
asked him, he was like, "Are you Swaggy?" I went, "Nah, I'm better than him, mate."
Taller than
Sorry,
him.
Swag. I'm only joking, mate. You're a
So
good-
Zappy arrives. You get to the event early in the morning. You sit down for your first series. Then let's start talking about how your group play went.
First map.
Cool.
Right, then born.
Yeah, Zappy lands first map, fries his nut off.
Mate,
But you're
well,
like a
even
40 bomb or
before
something on
they,
the
Only
CLO
six-
It
control.
was 46 and then Connor had 38.
Yeah.
Like
I'm trying to
before
go
the
back to
fucking
the-
first game even
Well,
started, I literally just like looked to my left and to my right, and me, Brandon, Ethan just got our headphones in, listened to music, just shooting bots, like not giving a fuck. I was like, okay, this is happening.
Yeah,
We're
you're locked in. Yeah.
For the,
Yeah,
the
so I
first
think-
time
so I
I
think
just couldn't hear nothing. I just had full, like, I think Sean or Ollie was tapping my shoulder, and I was just so locked in I didn't hear nothing. They pulled me,
Yeah, it
like,
was-
my headset off, and I had earphones in, and
It was
still
all.
just playing away.
It was all. He was like,
Not
trying
to mention it in our first game as well. We went 2-0 down in the control, like, and
Yeah.
brought it back 3-2,
But, yeah.
which was mad.
Yeah, so I
So,
think
yeah.
overall, I think we went 5-2 in the end.
Mm.
I think overall we played well. We played up to our standards. Apart from the first couple, I think if our S&D was on for the first 3 matches, we probably would have went.
Yeah, I think that's what I
7-1.
noticed, wasn't it? That you hadn't won an S&D for the
6-1.
first
Yeah,
sort
which
of.
is normally our
4 or 5
strongest mode
Which
as
series.
is
well.
our
Like-
strongest game mode. Yeah.
We were really confused. I don't know if it was nerves or what, but in XP we didn't drop a map and search, and then went to the lab
Yeah.
and shit the bed bad.
Yeah, we
Does
just
it-
we
do you
just
think
weren't
maybe
getting kills together. Yeah,
A bit,
just-
yeah, a bit nervous to make plays or
Yeah.
a bit slow.
I think
Yeah.
I think just team plays because like there was only like it was in one map I was going off, then one map Connor was going off. Like we weren't all going off together
Mm.
for the
Yeah.
first
Thing is,
3
as well,
games.
I remember in the S&D, I was getting first blood all the fucking time, and we were just
Yeah,
still
we
losing
just
the round.
weren't. Yeah, it was weird, but once the first 3 games got out of the way, won the first 3.
Yeah,
no,
you
won
kind
the
of
first game, lost
Get
the
into your
second game.
rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah, and then once we lost that second game, we won like 4 games on the trot, and then we
Mhm.
played obviously the good team right at the end.
me
We
doing that.
we should have beat them, but we just let our
Took the
control let
minor.
us down. But
I'm not being
Okay.
funny. That was 16 fucking hours a game, and we were fucking chalked. Anyway, we were
was gonna
laughing
say,
mid round.
yeah.
I
Me and
stabbed
Ethan
the
are doing
kid and
hand
stood up and
slaps
went
in the middle.
Brixton bully. Like,
I mean, I turned around to Jack and Buff towards like the end of that game. We was like, mate, these are shit. Like,
Yeah, it's done.
yeah, I think you was
I was
at that point.
prepared.
You was obviously playing for third, and was like, they could go to the final, but it's like, mate, they're so drained. You can see
Nah.
it. Like,
yeah, and like
confidence
the pack, like we would have kept
so I'd say
playing.
on
'cause
top
we-
of
Before
that, we had
having
the
to
pack
play
loss as
another
well.
game.
Because we literally we won the first map and we were like, right, we can do this, but then we just got like 6-0 in the S&D, and then the packet
Yeah.
off started kicking in. And we were
I
just
said,
like,
I said to the boys, I was like, if we beat Genji now, I'm not playing the next one.
Yeah,
I'll
we're
take,
not
I'll
bad.
take second.
Yeah. Right.
And-
Talk to me, boys, about there was a situation during one of your playoff games. Did you lose the map or did you lose the series? But you had noticed something that
Is this the
Lost the map.
Frenchies?
yeah, that
Yeah.
Which one?
We lost
Aye.
the map.
We lost the yes. So I had Jackal sitting behind me. Map 1 was Mikado, and like I
Same.
noticed I get stair glitched like on P2 rotation hedges, and like I turned to Jack and Jack goes, yeah, twice. I turned to Jack and I go, he's stair glitching any, and Jack went, yeah. I went, all right, no worries. I said, but the game was getting streamed, and like there's no way the admins would know that he's stair glitching unless they just took my word for it. So I said,
Yeah.
I said to the admins, I said, look, if you can't get that on stream, fair crack, we'll lose the map. I'm fine with that. And then we go into the S&D, and someone dies in the kill cam, and the pistol shoots
Me,
so
yeah.
quick,
Shooting like a Vaznev.
shoots
I've
so
never
quick,
s- I've never seen a
Every
pistol
single one
fire
of
that
us
fast.
just turned around and looked
and
at each other like,
the admin's next to me, and I look at the admin, I go, have you seen that? And the admin goes, yep, straight on the radio upstairs. So they call and I said, right, can I end the game so we can sort this out? Because I didn't want else to end the game and then potentially lose them up because of it.
Mm.
And they said, yeah, we'll end the game and we'll sort it out. So anyway, I went upstairs with Matt to see these Frenchies, and they were all arguing with like the tournament hosts. And I asked one of the guys, I said, oh, can I have a look at your classes? And the guy went, yeah, sure. So I was going through the classes, got through the first 2, nothing there. Got to the third one, and I went, there's a fire rate trigger. Took a picture, and then the guy looked over his shoulder and started speaking French in this. I didn't know what he was saying. And then, but he then translated to English that I put the trigger on his pistol. And I was like, why would I want to do that? Like, so anyway, they started pushing me around upstairs, and then they were calling the tournament host racists and all this, and it just got a bit heated.
No,
Was
it's
that the second game? Or was that the first game? It was the second game.
That was the second one. The first one they had.
Oh, no, sorry,
The first one they had a banned grip because we noticed it from the very start, didn't we?
Yeah.
They had a
Jackal
ban
wins,
group.
yeah.
Jackal went, and then
Yeah.
we lost map 2, and Jackal went, yo, should we just ban them? And I went to lads, I went, yo, they got a ban grip still. We're like, yeah, let's do it.
We noticed
And
that when everyone was warming up at the very start of the day as well.
Aye.
We just turned around and was like, well,
But
tune to fuck as well.
Sitting
Because
behind them.
gentlemen agreements were against the tournament rules. They opted to fully enforce all GAs and weren't taking any prisoners, were they?
no.
No, absolutely not.
The mad thing that caught me was that obviously we turned up and they had like a coach that was wired into all of their headsets.
Yeah.
And we were just like, oh, like, fair enough, whatever. We didn't actually know at the time that like they said that it was against the rules and banned it. So like we're watching them play the games, but like obviously he's calling out mid map in some of the games, and we turn around and go, is it normal? Like that's
Yeah.
But obviously we're focusing on you, so we just leave it. But it was just crazy to see. It was nuts.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I think that was what I think kind of surprised me the most was. Fair enough if the tournament is going to do that, but what I was pleased to see was that they fully enforced it and weren't being inconsistent with decisions like that. Because him having that trigger on that pistol, you can always argue, is that actually impacting the result of the map? But at the end of the day, rules are rules. They knew the rules going in, they broke the rules, and they took the punishment. So for them to react like that, I mean, it's comedy to hear. When I was back home, I'm reading that Carl's getting into a fight with some Frenchies. I couldn't believe it.
I'm the least person you want to pick on as well. I'm like 5'3". Like I'm just
It's just the way you all start chanting at him as well. It was just brilliant.
Yeah, because they were getting mad loud after the hard point, which we probably should have won as well. But like I don't know. And then we beat them on the S&D, and we all just started turning around and screaming like "Allez, allez!"
The control, I'm pretty sure we got 22, or the silo for the control as well. There was no way we're losing that to them. There was no way.
absolutely not.
Not a chance of I losing the silo control that day.
And going back to map sets and whatnot, we were saying, because I see this time they're doing it over 2 days, which I think it will be a lot better. Because it was a lot better when we could pick our own maps. Because I think that's the reason why we lost to Mebo, and that not saying they're bad players, but I think because we played Hydro, which is our worst map.
they decided what maps you would play.
So after 4, I think it was after 4 games, they went games 4, 5, and 6. They were just like, right, we're doing a map set. You guys ain't got a choice anymore.
Yeah,
the first
and
4
they come
games we had
downstairs and tell us
vetoes.
it's fucking Hydro, and we were like, sound.
Yeah, we were like,
And to be fair, in the scrims leading up to it, like we always just missed out Hydro because like it's our insta ban anyway, like during like XP League. So we always thought like, why would we
Well,
play
it's not even that. No one played it. No one.
Yeah.
wanted to play
And to
it.
speed up the schedule, they had to change. They cut out that veto process. Who had to play. Yeah, I can imagine that being a bit of a tricky, like almost checked you out or something because you.
Well, I don't know why we removed it though, because in reality, if 2 teams weren't playing, you just went over while you were sort of waiting on other games.
Doesn't take long,
I
does
don't
it?
think
to,
it
um,
delayed anything. Well, they went back to it after 2 games, so they probably realised their mistake.
Yeah, I was the person who was always doing the vetoes. So like, what you'd have to do is you had to go upstairs and then pick red or blue in terms of heads and tails, and then you just go through the normal vetoing process. It was done in like 2 minutes. So I don't know why I don't know if it was a case of maybe getting captains together or whatnot. But yeah, it's chalked us a little bit.
No, fair enough. But yeah, so you had to play a couple of maps you're not great on. At the end of the day, you still ran through some of them.
We still made it. Well, I mean, what were we, second in the group in the end?
And that's the thing when it's a 1-day event, isn't it? Where you've got such a tight schedule. I can understand them trying to do something about speeding it up a little bit.
Yeah. From their point of view as well, they don't want to be stuck there until like 1 o'clock in the morning themselves. Obviously, they've been working the whole day trying to keep the whole thing running. From a business point of view,
Well, some events don't even let you. They usually have to shut at a certain point. Yeah, so I think they did well.
That venue's actually open until 2:30 on a Friday and a Saturday. Yeah, so I think we got quite lucky. I think that's probably why they picked that place, because they could run all day.
Yeah, because I think that was one of the, going back to when there was the LAN last year in Sheffield, that the guys that owned the building were like, well, you guys need to get out at this point. It was like 1 a.m. and they just wanted everyone gone. But yeah, I'm glad that they had that there.
Yeah. All right, look, I'm going to move this on a little bit now because I've got a question I want answering because I'm not letting this settle. I'm not letting this slide. So obviously,
there we go.
I'm not letting it happen. Obviously, just quickly before I do ask it, I don't think we could have sent a better team on that weekend. It worked out really well.
Appreciate that.
Couldn't ask for a better organisation to go with.
I mean, we're the best part-timers in the org.
Yeah.
Hey, the lads v dads could have won. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. But right, my question is, and I'm eager to see this. Is there any sort of future to this old Emerald roster?
Yes.
That's up
There's
to Walker.
Yes.
There's some stubborn people being a bit childish, and I'm gonna have a right word with him after this. But I
I
need
also
to
don't
know.
blame him for not wanting to play this game.
No, listen,
I also
listen, I understand it, but I think at the same time it's too much of a waste for them and us at the same time. So I need to know: is there any sort of future? Is there any?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Not in this game. Not in this game.
You
We-
should see our group chat
sure,
still. Like
we
we're all
have-
still in the group chat, and
we
it's
meet
every day. It's
Yeah,
every
we're
day.
begging him to come back every day. But he has said if the next COD is good, we will team again. So
Yeah.
there's your answer.
Fair enough.
And hopefully we'll have more lands next game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
22
Because I tell you
Emerald may
what,
return.
5 won games in this game. MW2's about 5s. If you don't have 5s, you aren't winning a game, mate.
No.
Yeah, it's because the
I'm a
game's
bit-
shit as
oh,
well,
for
so you can't
example-
enjoy it if you ain't got vibes.
I'm a
Emerald.
what?
The new Emerald, right? Do you lot have vibes? Yes, maybe no. Onyx, maybe yes, maybe no. Amethyst are literally Emerald 2.0, if not better,
Oh,
and they are vibing
mate,
like fuck. and
I've-
they're winning me.
I've got Ant and Luto singing mid-map in scrims, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's what you want.
I've got Ollie
I
shouting
don't
ref.
know.
I was about to say it's because
Yeah.
Ollie's gone out of Amethyst. It's
Yeah.
vibing now.
But no.
Gaming for
Well,
you.
that answers my question, and I can't lie, I'm a little bit gassed at that. I'm happy. I'm a happy boy.
I think it was
But
more, see about the land though. I was more surprised Carl didn't drop like 9 every map.
Yeah, I was actually
Good result.
Carl's played
That
like
is-
the best
There-
COD I think he's ever played.
There
on
was a
that.
7. There was a
There
7.
was a 7, but I was chalked like, and it was Mikado, and I
think that's
hated
my-
Mikado.
That's always been my point. I think with LAN is that players that are either on bad setups at home, you know, I mean, going on an even playing field, you'll always be better.
Ethan, I see your comment in the stream.
Because I'm looking at someone like you, Carl. That there's maps or series where you'll struggle, and you've certainly got series in you that are capable. But I think on LAN it's just a much more consistent. Like
Yeah.
you can certainly go off, but you're kind of the call it like a poor performance is still better than what it is at home
Yeah,
on your own setup. So
I told the boys the whole time, like I'm a massive confidence player, and like when you hear like your teammates, literally, like you look across them and we're all shouting at other teams, like I don't know, it just hits different.
Absolutely.
And I mean, like I
Oh,
got a 4-piece on a silo, like on the S&D. I literally stood up, like couldn't see over the monitors, but I stood up.
Oh yeah, the 1v4. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just an ace. Well, we all
No, it
died
wasn't
when
1v4.
we
It was just
Oh,
an ace.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone was
yeah,
up.
yeah. But just the way you did it was actually insane.
Yeah.
Stood up and was level with the monitor screen.
Yeah.
I think Matt was behind him. Like, shall I pick him up? I was like, but no, lads. I think
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but-
wrap this up.
I think so.
I mean, there's not really much else to discover. Like I said, we appreciate you doing a job for yourselves and yous. It was an amazing opportunity for both of us. We both got something out of it, and you're all little legends. So
Who knows what the
Appreciate
future
you.
holds?
yeah,
June
appreciate you
10th,
coming
eh?
on
June
board.
10th.
June 10th.
Catch us in June? Question mark.
Well, thank you, boys,
Yeah,
for coming
what's
on.
happening in June?
You know what's
Ah,
happening.
nothing big. mate.
Nothing big.
Smoko on the sticks again.
Hey,
Yeah.
mate, he loves it.
Maybe.
Thank you, boys,
Maybe.
for coming on. Thanks for
We'll
being
see,
our
yeah.
first
No, thank you
first
for having
guest
us.
No,
on
appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Thanks for
podcast.
sending us and all that.
No worries, man.
No, you're welcome.
It was lovely
Thanks
to
for,
recap
thanks
it
for doing
all.
a job for us, boys. That was good. It was good to see.
22
And
on
just for the viewers, just make sure you buy your 22 hoodies, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me remind you, May 1st, midday, limited.
Best hoodies about, boys. Best
Wait,
hoodies about.
Shawnee, didn't you say something about Code Emerald? I swear you said something about that.
Oh,
I can't remember.
did you even get it like this?
Wow.
To celebrate the
Maybe.
third, hello.
Maybe. There's some limited edition shit, you know, some special.
You gotta
features.
win. You gotta win. You gotta
We
win for
might
that.
be able to, we might be able
Chase
to,
doesn't get a code, mate.
Dude.
might be able to get something running. Who knows?
Find
Yeah.
another team that get your third. You won't. You won't.
Hey, if you want a discount code, you come back and compete, mate. Simple. Stop being childish. Just saying. Get out, my call. Get him out.
Alright, thank you,
Thanks
boys.
for coming, boys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
See you later.
Cheers, lads.
Thank you.
Get out of here.
Jack, what happened?
He's muted.
He's muted.
Stream, let me just say now, we lost him, he's here, and he still can't get it working. Amateur hour. Amateur
And he
hour.
was-
I'm telling you.
He's
You can't get the stuff.
I'm
You can't get the stuff.
Okay, here he is.
Here
He's
he
back.
is,
He's
here
back.
he
He's
is.
back.
And he's back for a very important time because you already know
Yeah.
what time of the week it is. It's team of the week time, baby. Team of the week time.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All
Who's
right.
kicking things off?
Well, shall we have a little bit of a chat about the players that were in it last week and their performances this week?
Yeah, recap the games. Go on, why not? Let's go.
Okay, so last week in the team we had Gentra,
Always the
Hasty.
Scottish one.
Hasty,
Kuma,
Akuma, and
Jack.
Jack. Okay, so we'll start off with Jack then. Jack, what happened to your performance this week? Why do you think you're not in it this week? Or maybe you are.
Actually, no, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Before you answer that, I've got something to say here because I swear, no one's follow yet, and I want to hear the
No,
alert.
2 people have.
Brooks.
2 people
I haven't
have.
heard the alert, mate. So no,
Tim
I'm
Tim and
not
Brooks
counting
have.
it.
Tim and Brooks have.
Guys, if anyone is in here and you haven't followed, please, please, please do it. I appreciate it heavenly, and it gets me excited when I hear the alert. You'll see why. Just press it. Press the follow button.
Press the
Just do
button.
it. Anyway, let's go.
Right, back to me. Right, what was your question, Callum? Why am I not in it this week?
Why would you
Or
say?
Why
Why
do
would?
you think I'm not in it?
Or well, okay. The better question would
Because he
be.
didn't drop 14 in a S&D for
Yeah,
once.
it was 16. I'll have you know.
16.
Okay, the better question.
He had a good week. He
A
had a good
better,
week.
a better question would be.
Was we watching 2 different games?
Excuse me, I had a great week. Let me just see.
All right. Well, should we just pull up everyone's team of the week then?
Let's just get the picks
Put him up. Put him up. Get the picks up.
Okay.
You
Well,
week's
scraped a
team
win
of the
against.
Oh,
You
but me-
scraped a win against Team UK and put
We
flying
did not
in the
scrape a
captain, mate.
win. We will talk about that.
Me personally.
Were you flying?
Jack,
Yes, we was. Yes,
I
we was.
was,
Team UK. We're flying. The teams
We
are
didn't
flying.
even break a sweat, honestly.
Right.
We'll
Hold on a
talk
sec.
about that in a bit.
so
Right, no, before we even start, hold on a minute. I'm not happy. Hold on a minute.
What
There's a
do you mean you're
250,
not happy, lad?
145. I went 23 and 14. Next.
Oh, against next.
25 and 14. Next. We
Next.
lost that map. Next.
Oh, yeah, what did you go when you lose, huh? What's
That
that
was,
then?
it was S&D.
Yeah,
I
so,
went-
so,
I went negative 6 and 7.
yeah. There you
Next
go.
map,
Hey, you know what I
19,
mean?
19 and 8. Like,
Ignore him, he's Scottish. Anyway, move on.
well, in the chat we've got Ginger in the chat saying he can't wait to play you lot.
Oh, that's a big
Oh,
one.
Is that my boy?
Looking forward to that one.
Is that
yeah,
Melman
that's
Cod?
gonna be the big one.
Melman Cod right there.
Melman, yep.
Let's go.
Right then, boys. Let's talk about these picks.
Talk
Yeah.
about 'em.
Okay, so we'll start from the bottom, work our way up.
Bottom up. Yeah.
So
Bottom up.
Sean,
with me.
Sean has gone with, or Shawnee, sorry, has gone with Hasty, Specs, Quintana, and Luto. Explain
Yep.
why.
Well, last week I had Atlas in over Hasty, but Hasty could have easily been in that. And do you know what? He hadn't slowed down again. Still putting up ridiculous numbers in respawn. Great leader in the S&Ds, keeping them organised, and the team's flying. So I mean, it was just an automatic pick, really. I didn't really put too much into it. Moving on to Specs. I mean, I think I went with him again last week. I'm not too sure. I think I might have picked someone else. I can't remember, but
I think you had
Again,
him in your pick, to be fair.
I think I might have done, but again, he hasn't really slowed down. And just on this Specs pit, really, the only thing I'm gonna say that topped it, he had a very clutch and Deeks. I might have got this wrong. Was it a 1v3?
Oh my god! So we are
You wanna
like,
explain.
yeah.
this?
I think
You was there.
the round we're on attack on control.
Yeah.
There's like 2 seconds left on the clock. We got 3 down. Specs is the last alive on the B point. And I'm like, this round's done. I think that even means that we lost. We would lose 3-1. I think we ended up going 2-2. And all of a sudden, I just see this man pop a 3-piece. There must have had one coming off spawn as well, because I think that 3-piece cleared that point, allowed us to get onto the B point to win the round. But I'm like, my controller's basically on my desk. I've with the round's over. I've conceded that the round's over, and I just see this 3-piece pop, and I'm like, wow, this man has just won us the round, and we went on to win the map and take the series. But not even just that. I think we talked about it last week with mids and Specs on this team, both slaying out. It's some weeks it'll be mids, some weeks it'll be Specs. This week it was Specs that was just going off.
Yep.
And I
every map.
mean, he's in everyone's team, so rightly so. I mean, that covers it for everyone, really. But I mean, yeah, that clutch, he basically won that game for you. And when it looked like it was done, it was done. So
Yeah.
That's why he's in my team.
Mhm.
This man here, debut.
Quintana.
Debut. Subbed, I believe. He was a little pickup, right?
He's a substitute, full-time substitute for Aqua.
Oh, full-time substitute. Okay, I didn't know if it was just a little pickup, but yeah, it was his...
came in mid-season. Well, after their first couple of games.
So they brought him in as a substitute just to fill in for when they can't obviously get their main four together. But after the series he had, he might just have to be in their starting four going forward.
Honestly, this rivals the Axonite boys, all of them on their debuts. I mean, this guy, he played like he'd been playing for years in the leagues. He just come in and mowed people down. He was dropping ridiculous numbers in the respawns. S&D just looked tidy and a few little clutches.
Yep.
It was just
top right every map. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really impressive to see. I mean, it was just I didn't really know much about him, and when I look back and seen the series, I was like, wow,
he came in and just took over, and end of the day, that's what you want in your substitute.
Exactly, and if he's on the bench, then there's no issues, is there?
Yeah.
This last man on my team, Luto, the Amethyst genius, I like to call him. This guy, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, he does it that often now. I just expect it from him. I mean, I think it was we played 2 league games. One of them we sort of chalked ourselves. We let ourselves down big time. But in them both series, he was just unstoppable. Like respawns alone, he was like nearly 40s every respawn. He was just crazy. The routes he was taking, timings, like he just basically put us on our back really. Ryan matched him as well. Ryan was up there. He was just doing what he does best as usual, holding them lanes. And we just breezed through the first series. But this, like, the reason he's in the team was one of the S&Ds in the second series. He was just lights out. Like, we was pretty much like losing rounds, but he'd still get 4 kills in each round. So.
Can I just say, Kinney, that is a shout and a half. I like that. I fully agree with that.
His stream is woeful.
He's dropped.
It might be time for you to break that bandana out, mate.
I need a cut. I'm getting
just shave it all off, mate. Embrace the baldness. Shave it all off.
A hair transplant you're needing.
Not that bad, is it?
He's not allowed to buy a PC. Ain't gonna be allowed to buy a hair transplant.
Right. And just to wrap this up, because obviously I don't want to spend too long on this team. I actually picked this before last night's series, but a shout out to Ollie. Like, he could have easily been put in that. He was unreal last night. Like, the clutches he had, the way he played, it was a nice little regain out of him, because I know he's been struggling down in the depths there in the lower div. He's not been trusting himself, so he could have easily walked into my team. So yeah, but that's my team of the week.
Right, and now over to Deeks. He's gone with Isaac, Specs, Quintana, and Chazzy. Tell me why.
I could have quite easily have put Hasty in again. He's very well.
You thought
warranted.
He'd be different.
It's not even thought I'd be different. I think I just want to give a special shout out to a player in Isaac. So Axonite, since they've started, have been 3-0 in teams every time. The series they played this week, they took to a game 5, where both S&Ds, and I think Isaac's S&Ds throughout the entire season has been lights out. I think taking a team like that to game 5, they won both S&Ds 6-0 and 6-1 with Isaac dropping high numbers in both of them. And I think when you've got a player so good in S&D, if you don't 3-0 a team and you get taken to game 5, you're just confident that you're going to come away with that win. So I just wanted to show some love for someone that, and he had a solid, showing in the respawns as well. But I just think for his S&D gameplay this week, particularly when they needed a player like him, having going into that 5th round, into that 5th game, I think that's why I just wanted to show him some love.
Yeah.
So yeah, Specs, as we've discussed, and Quintana we discussed, no brainer in having them in, and Chazzy. I'm surprised you boys have not gone Chazzy across the board. It's shocked me. I can't lie that there's not a single Onyx player in here. They win their series this week 3-2 in a reverse sweep, and every map. I don't know whether it's because it was Chaz's POV that was being streamed, so you're watching him, but this guy was winning some absurd gunfights across the map. The Embassy Hardpoint map 4, in particular, he was getting spawns every single time, winning some outrageous, as I say, some outrageous gunfights, dropping high numbers. He top fragged in the first map that they lost. Top fragged in the control. Again, I think by bar about 2 kills would have top fragged in the map 4, and had a great S&D and about 8 kills as well. So it was a no-brainer for him being in there. I can't lie.
Yeah. All right. Well, over to Jack. Jack's gone with Hasty, Specs, Quintana, and 1 Jammer.
Yep. Hasty, self-explanatory. Everyone, well, apart from Sean, because he's different. Everyone's got Hasty. Done it again this week. He's always at the top on kills. Specs. What else can I say? He had a massive regain from last week. I must say, he came into the series cold and carried us to the win. Nothing else you can say. We don't win. The man's a walking 3-piece. Next, we've got Quintana, subs in, carries Aqua to the win. Nothing else much you can say about the boy. Nobody knows who he is. He's just appeared.
Anomaly.
Just out of nowhere and carried us. This next one might be a little bit of favouritism.
Major favouritism.
Sorry.
Jama was very unlucky to miss out last week, but there was one message that was put in the Aqua chat that made me pick him, and it was appreciate Jama for keeping us calm in the games. And I know what he's like. I'm a bit like that in Topaz as well. It's like the comms need to be calm. Our comms can be chaotic sometimes, but if you get Jama calming you down and dropping, like, was it 49-10 or 48-10 or something, one of the maps? 43-10. You can't not pick him. But
Jammer, bearing in mind that Aqua's played one series this week?
Yeah.
Jammer has not dropped a 40 bomb in that series this week.
There's a picture in the chat. I don't know if it might be a scrim.
It might have been a scrim or from a series last week, but this week he's done 18 and 23 in the hard. But he's had a good series, but it's
just that message.
Sean, he's in there because he's his boy, man.
He's in there because he calms them down.
I was about to say, Sean really.
You've heard it here.
He's a calming manner.
Just so you know, this is how this man picks his team of the week. As long as you're friends with him, you're in.
Well, I suppose I did go to school with him my whole life.
Wow. Even more.
Hey, see, now he admits it. Now he admits it. It's one of them.
Right, well, we'll move on to Ine then. And Ine is exactly the same, apart from he's gone with Volley. Would you care to explain why?
Well, I say Hasty, everyone has said it. The man just keeps dropping numbers. I do want to give a shout out to Isaac. I mean, I looked through his S&Ds were there, but Hasty was also matching him in some of the in one of the S&Ds out of the 2. And then when Hasty brings what he does in the respawns as well, hard to not have him in. Specs, I mean, I say walking 3-piece, huge clutch plays. I think you boys have. Maybe you boys didn't. The Topaz team didn't underestimate what he does, but when you had me in. And then
I want to
realize how much he does bring to your team.
I think we didn't realize like the pacing of both our subs having you held your own in our game and did well on the sub for someone that's been running as an AR for a little while now. But
I was about to say it's absurd that you brought him in and he's gone on the sub.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you agreed considering I've been an AR for about 3 years now.
It's fine. The better idea was probably putting me on the sub.
Yeah. We loaded
into
that map 1. Didn't we? We loaded into that map 1 in our series straight after, and I think it was like a 100-point club, and Specs is like 24 kills, and I'm like, okay, I like having Specs and bids around.
It's like I said to you in that first episode, like the way that them two play off each other with a sub is so unique and good at the same time. Like they're always on each other's hip, always.
Yep.
So that's Quintana, like we said, bringing him in, the guy. Will basically carry Aqua in their series to their win.
Did he have perhaps one of the most takeover series across the season? As he had, because there's been maps where players have dropped high numbers, and maybe in maps where they've then slowed down a little bit. But I don't think he slowed down across all 3 maps.
No.
There aren't many players that have done that where every single map they've like clearly pretty much hard carried throughout.
Yeah, I think his overall series KD was almost like a 1.6 or something.
Yeah.
So that's why Quintana gets in there, and then
No,
Ollie, the boy. It was a
That's my
last-minute
granddad
change
cod.
after their game yesterday. I did have Luto in, same as Sean's, but after Ollie's searches yesterday, I think it was 18 or 22 kills across 2 searches.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like what 12 and something in the first one, and then like 16 in the next one. It was even more. It was like 24. Yeah.
Something ridiculous. He also held his own in the respawns.
What do you boys think to this? Right, this is a little bit controversial, and I just want to get all your thoughts on this. If a player does that in Ollie and having an unreal S&D showing last night, but they lose the series and they lose it in the game 5, can you pick a player that in Team of the Week that loses?
Well, I can't.
Didn't you pick a personal? I would say personal performance.
Yeah.
But you're picking.
Hold on. Didn't you pick someone? Wasn't someone picked last week for a Team of the Week that dropped a donut in an S&D?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
and that
Your
was
own
and that
teammate.
and that was in yours.
Series, though. My
But
question
he dropped
is,
a donut. So you
but
could
he won
argue
the
both
series. I
sides.
think my question is, if you lose the series, even if you've had a good series, if you lose the series, are you considered as Team of the Week?
So
Well, yeah, 'cause it's the player was a winning player on a losing team, unfortunately.
if Haaland
That's
scores
just how
6
it works
goals, but Man City lose 7-6, but Haaland gets all 6, he's still
When is
getting
that
man of the
gonna happen?
match.
All right, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I take that. Yeah.
The thing is with that is they should never have lost that series, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but like there's just ways that they played which doesn't.
For the record, Ollie was in my Team of the Week. If it wasn't for Chazzy,
Don't try and sugarcoat things now. Don't even try it.
How could he have?
How
actually
can he?
lost?
How can he?
He couldn't have been there originally because he lost. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was a question. It wasn't my. That's not my opinion. I was asking a question as to what the people's thoughts were. I said, could you? I would pick him if it wasn't for Chazzy's.
You
performance,
didn't.
but
You didn't pick him
I
though.
didn't because Chazzy had a good series and won.
Why does he have to? Why does he have to go in
Moving
front
on.
of Chazzy? Why can he go instead of someone else?
Bored of this man backtracking. Move it on.
Well, I mean, mine is quite simple. It's easy. Hasty, obviously, again, the kid's just constantly slaying out. No one can stop him. Specs, as everyone says, walking 3-piece. You know, he's especially this week when you had an A fill in for a game. I think you do notice their different play styles and how much you do miss that kind of the way he plays the game. Yeah. Quintana, I mean, he's just walked into a series and absolutely destroyed the opposition. Like there's that guy is. There was no doubt that he was going to be in everyone's Team of the Week. And Luto, I think I might have gone for Ollie instead, but it's Luto's Luto. I mean, you get what you expect from him, and you expect a lot, and you get a lot from him. I think he started a bit slow to the season, but I mean, he's finding his feet, and he's back where he was at the end of last season when Emerald wanted him. But I mean, again,
But they never got him.
no.
You had 2 series, 1 Katana, 1 XP this week, was it?
Amethyst boys.
Yeah,
2.
2 and 1-1, lost 1, was it?
Yeah. Should have been 1-2, but we won't talk about it.
So is Luto being picked based off how good he was in the Katana game?
In both games.
I don't think he was that great in the XP game.
Yeah, you're wild.
Good thing it's not your list.
The thing
Good
is,
thing it's not your list.
the thing is, I'd let that slide if he had good COD knowledge, but he doesn't.
He had an
so-
unreal map 1, but I don't think he.
He had an unreal series throughout both. If you actually watch it back and know what you're on about, so just leave it.
Well, this is the thing. Fair enough.
Did you watch both series? Put it this way. Did you watch both
can't tell
series?
them this wrong.
I didn't see the Katana. That's why I was asking if he had an unreal Katana game, but
had an
the
unreal
XP
both.
one.
The XP one, he was unreal in as well.
Fair enough.
But anyway, so we'll move on. So that's everyone's individual Team of the Week. So, obviously, you can probably work out who's in the actual Team of the Week. But there it is. So, congratulations to Hasty, Luto, Quintana, and Specs Specs and Hasty making it 2 weeks in a row now.
Yeah.
Specs make it last week?
No,
Yeah,
Specs did he?
Oh no, it was Mids, wasn't it? Mids went in.
I know it was
No,
Jack.
Jack did.
It was Jack.
was
Oh yeah.
Oh, was
Never
it?
mind.
Hey, I've slept since then. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
Only Hasty has made it 2 in a row.
See how Jack never
Yeah.
forgot that.
He's been clinging on to their life, bless him.
But no, anyway, yeah, congratulations to you four. The second team of the week. An even bigger congratulations to Hasty because he's made it 2 weeks in a row, and I mean, there's no surprise there.
Man's on for a hat trick.
And then I guess we'll move on to the clip of the week. So there is no sound with this because the caster decided to not let anyone else make clips apart from his own.
You know what? I'm gonna call him out on it. Don't say it's the caster. Baltic, you idiot! If you're gonna cast a game, at least make sure we can clip.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, here is it's Ollie's 1v3 in what game was it? Oh, what map?
This was
it?
last night. CeeLo game 5.
Game 5.
Game 5. So here we go.
The map they lost, by the way.
Yeah, but they were 5-3, so if Ollie doesn't make this 1v3, it's done even.
It's true. Yeah, he makes
And do you know what? He just plays it absolutely brilliantly. That's a huge win first kill round anyway. Like it's just nuts how he even wins that. But then the way he plays this is just unbelievable.
When you think about it, he's got 20 seconds and he's running about like a maniac
Yeah.
Yeah, but he has to.
on the map.
He has no time. Needs to plant the bomb. 1v3. I mean,
This here, to be fair,
Almost
if this guy has loudness, I think he's dead there. To be
Yeah.
honest, because I don't know how he didn't hear him. But
Oh, all he had Daddy.
yeah, it don't matter. You
But
can,
still,
you know how
with
mad I
loudness.
was
still
in this
hear the
game.
dive.
Yeah.
But this is just a typical win. Like, look, gets the bomb down, works bomb pool. See you later.
It's just
Big one.
in one of those situations you can't think about what you do before you do it. You just
How
have
it's
to
just
do
flow
it.
state, isn't it?
You have to do
Yeah.
it, otherwise you fuck it up. And he's played that perfectly. I mean, you could.
No,
I don't think that he could have played that any better.
No.
But I
How
mean,
delayed is that guy at the end? Like he's lying up there,
I think he was just trying to run the clock
and
down.
Ollie gets out of bomb and through pool before
Yeah.
the guy jumps down.
Yeah.
who are they playing?
British controller.
Clanzai.
Clan Black.
Reflex.
And he was the last guy alive was 16-5 too.
Yeah.
So no slouch
I-
himself, but
I actually seen the boys of Clan Black getting a little bit heated on the Twitter on the timeline. I can't remember what they were actually saying, but I seen him getting a little bit wild. But
yeah.
you can't let this happen.
But yeah, no, congratulations to Ollie. You've made it for Clip of the Week
Clip of the
for
week.
week 2. But yeah, we're on to the next topic then, I guess, which is the leagues.
The leagues.
Yeah.
So,
Oh no.
Yeah. Watch it in here.
I'm shaking.
yeah, make sure there's no admins in here. That's it, I'm nicked. But
Like,
okay.
where do we start? The biggest one or the up and coming?
So, well, I'll ask the question. I'll ask the question. We'll start with XP. What do we think? We'll start with what have they done well within this COD? Just this COD. What have they done well?
I think the biggest dub for XP was getting the Discord from ACCL.
Yep.
I think that's the big one.
And then
They maintain the player base.
Yep.
They have every player level. I mean, they
Yep.
went from 6 div season 1
To
to
9.
7 season 2 to 9 season 3.
Brooks
I mean-
getting me in.
I mean, when you have 9 divs of almost 20 teams a div, 18 teams a div.
yeah,
I mean,
I think, and
it's-
you could say, and obviously no disrespect to any leagues or anything like that, but you could quite easily say that was a downfall of Katana and not getting that Discord. I think if they get that Discord, I think we're looking at a completely different.
Or reversal.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think what Katana have got going well for them is their structure, their website, the ELO system, and whatnot. And if they got that Discord, I think it would be lights out for any other amateur league. You know.
Look,
I will add something. Sorry, Sean. That website only works with the ELO system if people continue to sign up.
Yeah.
Because I never kept the same ELO than I did the last season. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
they need sign ups for it to continue to work.
Look,
and it
well,
needs a couple seasons to
go on.
balance everyone out.
Of course
You
it
know,
does.
they're not going to get people's elos correct straight away, but the more people play and the more often you're playing, it's eventually going to balance out. It's a long-term thing.
And look, I know we've just talked about like them having the Discord and obviously people building it up from scratch, but both leagues have positives going for them. Both leagues have things to work on. It's always going to be the case. XP, especially this season so far, and the majority of last season, to be fair, I know they had a few like hiccups and stuff because it's hard with the amount of players that they have. What they do well is placing teams. Like realistically, there's not really many issues with teams being out of place in divs.
No.
Like to say that they have that many signups, like you don't see a lot of issues.
Well,
I think they've learned from their like past mistakes as well. I
yeah.
think
Yeah,
there was
like they might all have a new management now and stuff after with everything of the fall of ACCL, but that management's been around the scene regardless for a while anyway. And like I said, what they've done well is placing teams and keeping that player base and sort of like using their own knowledge and stuff like that to like transfer it over and make it their
even
own,
though
essentially.
Fuse was kind of undercover for a little while.
yeah, I just think there was some horrific admin decisions early season 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
season 1.
there
A
was.
little bit of season 2, but it's gradually got better and better. And I don't think there's been one thing they've got like wrong yet this season. I don't even think there's been many controversies anyway. There's not been many issues, but
what I will say is as well, like, I agree with they were horrific, right? But at the same time, like whoever's on the shitter end of that stick basically is always gonna feel like cheated. So
I think it's more so the inconsistency because I think that there was decisions made.
Stopping and changing of rules.
And decision made in one division, but then the same decision wasn't being made in the other division, and you're like, well, how have you reached that decision when last week you went the opposite way with another team? That was the kind of the thing early doors that he was looking at, thinking they're just if they carry on with these kind of poor decisions when it comes to league results, but they've learned from it, and I think without a doubt this season, they've just been like mountains better.
Yeah,
I didn't catch the names there, but thank you for the follow, guys. Really appreciate it.
I know we're talking about like bad decisions and things like that, but we do appreciate what they've been doing because if there's no XP, if there's no Katana, there's no 22 at the end of the day.
None of it's possible without the leagues, and at the end of the day, like orgs like us, like all the others there, like obviously you got your incentive rise and all that. Like you just said, without them, we're nothing, and what they provide, it's incredible for us to be able to put that many amount of teams in.
Yeah,
have that relationship that we.
I thought the production of the Katana, especially when we had the old Onyx, the Fishing Co. I think their grand finals, the production of that was great. That felt like a top level, production for kind of the challengers scene, if you'd like. So I thought that side of things was levels as well.
That first season of Katana, like the way they ran that and the way they got it up from the ground running, like they didn't have a lot of silence, but it genuinely was structured, well organized. It ran smoothly. There was no issues. And like you said, that production on the final day, that is something that, from an org owner standpoint, I'd love to see my team streamed like that in a final game and have all the eyes.
There's been they've run some really solid tournaments as well.
Yeah.
Early doors, there was great sign-ups for things like that, and maybe something that they can look at doing again. I think tournaments once a week or every couple of weeks is always handy. S&D, variant ones. They ran very well.
Yeah. Well, it's needed, isn't it? Let's be honest. Like, especially in the EU, what is going?
The place, with things like GBs and CMG, the state that they're in and that scene is in anyway at the minute. I think having those tournaments actually might be pretty decent people to sign up for.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that someone can.
Touching on, obviously, we're sat here, saying our own points and whatnot, but we obviously don't know what's going on behind the scenes, and you had that. And shout out to XP and all the admins and management, because you had that situation not that long ago with XP and all the whole money side of it that they spoke about. I mean, and again, if that doesn't get spoke about, you have no idea that stuff's going on in the background. And credit to everyone at XP for keeping that going, because if, like we said, if we don't have XP, none of the orgs are where they are today. So it's a credit to them, and it shows because I think we were all surprised this season with the amount of sign-ups that they had. They obviously had the delay to the start of the season, with the sheer number of teams that they got signed up was incredible. It was nuts, right? We couldn't believe it when we heard how many teams actually signed up for. I know they've got a little bit of a rocky Div 2 or whatever, but I mean, apart from that, I think it's been nuts.
Well, that's just
done.
and that Div 2 situation currently, they've made again, they've realised that a lot of teams that signed up have decided to not play the game, or those teams have split up, and there's like only actually like 7 or 8 solid team of 4s that have been team of 4s for a while. So what they've done is merged Group A and Group B to just one group, which was needed. That was the obvious decision. But again, they looked at it and said, okay, well, we'll do this if the division votes on it. That every captain vote and everybody was unanimous in making that decision. But that was players or teams not playing or dropping out isn't the league's fault. I think it's just the state of the game at the minute that a lot of those higher level teams just don't want to play it, or one loss and they want to leave their team and find another one. So shout out to the league there in looking at that and going, right, well, what can we do to make this season a competitive one, but a productive one as well, when there's lower teams signing up for those higher divisions, is, well, it just be one group, and then it hopefully makes for an exciting playoff run.
So I'll ask a tough question and a controversial question. What do we think personally, in our experience with this season and the last seasons, what do we think the leagues could be doing better at?
I just think I think maybe just their promoting of it. I think you don't. That was one of the things I think Katana did well, was they have their own Twitch setup and they would kind of stream some of the games from their own setup. But I think when it comes to playoffs, especially, I mean, I know there's a lot of divisions and a lot of games going on, but if there's a situation where there's a let's say, for example, me, Jack, in Topaz have a game that decides whether they get first seed. I think the league could be tweeting out, must watch, come and watch this series for first seed for Division 5. I think just promoting important games and really pushing that out on there, like Twitter and things like that, and in the Discord, they'll put out an announcement when there's when there's the final or a grand final. But I think if there's important games going on, or some gruelers, some Game 5 round 11s that were nuts to watch or see, I think if they just kind of use that as content, really, I think maybe pushing out content would be my advice to them.
You don't see much from their Twitter during the season.
No.
And look, like, especially XP more than Katana, but like the hard work's done for them all now. Like, obviously they've been running for a while. Obviously Katana still needs to boost their signups, but that comes anyway with business. Like, there's not really much you can improve in this scene, especially online. Like, you run your league. Like, all you can do is what they're doing. They're running amazing, just making sure that there's not really many issues. But it's like you said, the little things, like maybe getting production on like finals and stuff, and maybe LAN events. I know they're hard to run and set up, but like they're the sort of things they've got to target if they want to improve more and get more people involved in eyes, and like, it also attracts a more caliber of player as well.
Well, I just think there's like a disconnect between the divisions. So, like, there is. If you're for someone like us who have teams in every division, like, we know what's going on, we know the teams to beat, we know players that are the standouts in the divisions, but there isn't that. If you're in Division 3, you have no idea what's happening in Division 6, but there could be some unreal series being played and some great drama going down, that I just think if they can sort of tap into that would just elevate it even more.
And a part of that all depends on the game as well. Like, realistically, a lot of teams are sort of dropping just because of the state of the game. Like,
sort of that kind of like mid to late season now, aren't we? It's just
we're almost at the end of
it always gets to, when it gets to this time of year, especially in the game and the cycle, like, everyone sort of not drops off, but obviously you see certain teams disband and certain people lose like interest, and
Mm.
It's just natural. It's just how it happens. But like the games have got to do a better job of making sure that they provide, so then their service can improve also.
Yeah.
Well, look
Because
at
they can't-
ranked. I mean, the game was like flying like when rank was first released. Now it's just rank's just dead because of the way the
Well, it's hack or get hacked, isn't it? That's
yeah,
what it is.
basically, yeah.
Like
But I
there's
think-
nothing else you can do about it.
I think with the game, the game's not awful.
No, it's not.
I enjoy
No.
playing it. I don't
Small-
actually dislike
small
it.
minuscule changes,
Yeah.
then it's actually a good game to play.
But they're not making those changes at this point now,
No,
are they? I
they're
think
never
people
going to,
just
no.
need to like, not start. Maybe even, I don't know. Is it like a player's attitude problem as well as the game being crap? Like everyone knows it's rubbish, right? But just get on and play it. Like there are situations, like there are guns that if you're not enjoying a certain gun, switch up your role, switch up how you play the game. Everybody, if you don't like hardpoint, if you don't like the way spawns work, well then just grind S&Ds. Get some S&D tournaments running. I just think ranked is a bit rough if you play a four stack and get hacked on. It's a bit shit, but I just don't. I don't actually think the game is bad. I think
No.
it's still enjoyable to play. It's Call of Duty at the end of the day. It's competitive, fun.
What I am worrying about is maybe this time next year, are we still going to be playing Hardpoint Hydro?
How's
We
this
don't-
2-year cycle
like,
going
we-
to work?
We
Basically,
don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Well,
anything about
it's not confirmed that it will be a 2-year cycle, right? Like there could
It's
be a
also not
possibility
confirmed that it's a new game. We don't.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of
was
like this.
confirmed it's a 2-year. It's just originally it was not going to be a new game, and then halfway through they switched it up to it is going to be a new game, but it's made by the same devs and everything. So
It's essentially they're just gonna like have a little reboot of the same game with
Yeah.
different maps.
It's
all
just like a
that
Make
shit.
it
reskin,
worse.
just a
So-
reskin game.
could be
They're gonna make
reskin,
it worse.
reboot. It
I
could
mean-
be a new game. We don't know what they're going to bring. Like we've been given nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I just think if you're not enjoying the game, fair enough, and you don't love Call of Duty, fair enough, and it is difficult pushing yourself through it, but I don't actually think it's as bad as people make out to be.
No, it's not.
It's just a
But-
struggle because obviously
Yeah.
it gets repetitive. You come on, you scream, you play your league games. Like
But that's the way that I
Once
think you can, you look at, use Jack here for an example, but Jack, you playing Div 3 last season. Was it Div 3?
Four.
Div
Div
4.
3
Yeah, so it's a Div 3 last season, right? There was towards the later playoffs where you were playing better teams. I think maybe you struggled a little bit and you didn't enjoy the game because you're not winning or you're not playing well. But I just think, but now you're at a level that you're kind of, one of the
Getting on
better
to-
players at that level. but that's, I mean, I know it sounds stupid, like obviously winning the game is going to make you enjoy the game. But if you're struggling in like Div 2,
Yeah.
why are you playing Div 2?
Yeah.
Go
It's-
and play
at
Div
the end of the
3.
day,
Like, I feel you need to just find your level and then you'll
that's,
enjoy
that's
playing.
spoken out of experience, that isn't it?
the industry.
It,
that
it
we're in,
is. I won't lie, it is. Yeah.
the industry we're trying to be a part of, at the end of the day, it's still a hobby.
Yeah.
And it allows you
None,
to.
none of
the
us
way
are
this-
trying to make it.
Whoa,
Yeah, it's not like this.
Whoa, COD is a lifestyle.
I still got a few years in my
Yeah.
career, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
I've
But
got to
you've
see,
got the
I've got to
ability,
see
yeah.
Buff on Lan scream at Germans again before I retire, mate. Let me tell you now.
I know admins have a say in
Dead.
like players like being division locked, but if you can get, if you're, let's say you're Div 3 locked, but you've been playing Div 2, well play Div 3 with a new team. I think you just have so much more fun. But also I think it's who you play with, and if you're I think we've got a vibe team. I think every time we get on we have a laugh and enjoy. Even if we lose, it's just like, all right, cool, next map,
Nope.
move on.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
You know.
So,
Hate
I
losing,
was told.
hate it. Nope.
I was told
Nah.
Div 4 locked unless you pick up a shutter, so I picked up Sean.
That's outrageous.
Another important question: what do we think of the, I guess, the gun set? Because at the minute, obviously, you've only got a Vaz and a TAC, right? And you could say you could argue either way which gun you think is best, right? But is that part of the problem with
The Vaz
this
is better.
this COD? Is that you can be absolutely
Ouch.
gunned across map with a sub machine gun,
That's
And
an issue. It's like,
It's been like that for like 4 CODs now,
That's
man.
the
Like
thing, yeah.
Modern Warfare
Yeah.
2019, you're
Nothing's
getting
changed.
free bulleted by an MP5.
I think when I was playing Cold
Stupid.
War, that AK-74U could beam someone like out of
mate,
a window.
stupid.
And
But then at the same
um,
time, sometimes the AR jokes, so it's like,
If
well,
I
you just
remember,
get a
like-
headshot at the crick, you were winning every gun.
Yeah,
I know, but I
look,
remember
I don't care
reading
what you
something
say.
like,
headshot multiplier was nuts.
Give me a 3-bullet MP40 every day of the week. Take me
Nice.
back to Vanguard.
but what I'm
I
saying
just
is
never-
is that a main
And that,
feature
I'll
of
be
what's
honest,
killing the
before-
game for people? Is that like, because once you lose a few times, I think we've all had it this season where we've lost like a series or we've lost 2 series in a row and we're like, well, what's the point? Like, I
Yeah.
can't be asked. Like, is that a big part of the COD nowadays? Is the gun set and the way it's the way the mechanics work?
Do you want to know what it is? I'm gonna go for a little like controversy take here, right? A lot of these little Vanguard bloody slide cancelling warriors, all these little G Fuel sniffers, can't just hop round the map and free bullet people and
Yeah.
like shit on me. Now it's a bit more of a classic COD, bit of teamwork, you know, takes vibes, takes teamwork,
gotta slow
got
down.
good shots, got to slow down, play a bit more actual tactical. They're lost, mate. Where are they? They've all fell off. Every
But
single
Callum,
one.
you look at
Because you're all little rats.
to me, Callum has
Yeah,
always been.
jetpack.
You've always been a sub
I'll take a
player.
Take a jetpack.
I've always remembered you being a sub player. Now you've been basically running almost like a main AR this season, because you started using attack and was like, I'm better using this gun, and it makes you enjoy the game a little bit more using that gun versus because if you had to pull out a Vaznev and run around the series, would you have fun using it? Do you think?
I'll be honest, I don't actually know.
Yeah.
I've not
Yeah.
really used it at all this COD. I think it was because I don't know
Mids, I'm a
what
wee bit faster.
I don't know what started
This is
it.
good.
I don't know what
This is going
started.
for 5
yeah,
slow
I don't know what
ARs.
started it, but when I
we actually we got but yeah. Should be called the main AR show.
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I think Callum, you moved on to NER once you picked up that M4. Picking up
Well,
that M4 and
everyone picks up
sitting on
an
the hill,
M4.
then
Everyone
like there's nothing else you can do apart from like use it. But as
Mm.
soon as it's been GA'd, I feel like the variety with the guns, they're quite even, I would say. I mean, the
do you also
Vaznev
think-
and shotgun at times.
But the
think
Vaznev, I think,
is safe.
also another thing to talk about is that the Vaznev has got pretty much one, maybe 2 different setups. The TAC people are using, there's
Oh,
like
I'll
10
be
different
honest.
like classes running around at the minute.
I'll be
So
honest, I've got 4 on the go that I switch
Yeah.
between because I just cannot for the life of me stick with one. Like it's
see,
nuts.
I think I found one
Yeah,
that
I've found one.
suits me, and I just think until you find one, if you're swapping and changing, that's I think part of the struggle.
I
of,
think it changes every
one
update
map
though.
you're like free bullet
It-
people, next map you're not. It's like
It's just like every class setup it feels mint, but then also feels shy after like 2 days or something. It's I don't know. It's weird.
I went through that, but now now I'm on a class where I think it's felt the same for about a good solid month and a bit.
I'm the
Yeah.
same.
I'm gonna stick to
It
the
doesn't
fact
help.
that
It doesn't help the game. It always feels like a different game every day.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Some days you get on and you 2 bullet, the other days you get 5 bullet. And you just,
But that's
Mids-
the whole Emerald one
Mids,
about
don't start
online.
talking. You can
Backwards.
kill in a bullet. Like, your gun runs about like a shotgun.
The servers with online COD is just making it different for everyone's playing. their
Yeah,
own
I think
game.
it's a
It's-
placebo a lot of the time as well. It's just like if
That's
you
what it
you get killed by an AR. I also think this as well from being like a console player that I was trying to use classes from people. I was getting gunned by someone using like a certain muzzle. I'd use that certain muzzle and it feels awful. And it's like I've got to remember he's got like a 2 grand PC with 240 hertz and 200 frames, whereas I don't have
he's got
that.
that
So
extra 5 FPS.
yeah, but that might be what's making the difference. Is like I can't use that class because I don't have the same setup. I don't have the
Get me-
same monitor, the same.
Get me back on console, man. PC COD.
Yeah. So then I have to try and find a class that I'm like, okay, on my console with my setup, I'm shooting as I feel as good as people with classes that are slightly different to me.
I
Yeah.
mean, you do play on like a 1st-gen Xbox. You're basically on a potato, mate. Like,
Well, I'm seeing in the chat. But I'm going to start fundraising for a PC at this point. Get Deek's PC. Get it
Going
trending.
back to the placebo effect, I think since the last update and you can't see the kill cams,
So
sometimes
annoying, isn't it?
there'll be someone on your screen and you're instantly dead, but on their screen they've
Mm.
seen you for so many more frames and you've seen them. It's just so frustrating. I think that's why it's in everyone's head because you
Mm.
can't see how they've kilt you.
everyone's
It's-
hacking.
That's where all these
Yeah.
accusations come from. There's so many this COD. Everyone gets it. I've had it. Like it's ridiculous. the amount of people
I'll
that
go
get
on a
it.
PC and instantly be called a hacker.
No,
like, after
you
about
won't.
probably 1
Shut
week.
up. No, you won't. Shut up.
Oh, okay
You're
then.
not that good. You're not that good.
The Deeks hate is real, man. Deeks hate is real.
You wait this week in Centre Parks. I'm drowning the kid. Honestly.
Oh my god! I'll batter him on the rapids.
But yeah,
It's bro.
Anything else we want to talk about?
I guess looking forward, I think is the last
Yeah,
thing.
We were talking
wanna,
about leagues, and then we
I've
moved
got-
on to the game.
I've got them. I can pull them up here. I don't know if you boys have them as well. But do you want to have a quick rundown of where everyone are in their
Yes,
table
please.
wise?
Yep,
You
so
pull them up. Just
Right,
while
right
he
up.
pulls that up.
I will get
For everyone that's watching in this stream right now, we will be live later on around 8 o'clock. Emerald will be having a league game, so myself and I think I might be joined by Snappers. I think us two are going to cover that game, so we will be live around then. If you want to tune in.
Yeah, Sean, I've got it on
Boys.
my PC, by the way.
If you've got, I mean, the thing is, I think some of them. So there's been a couple of series forfeits by some teams that haven't been added yet. So I've got Onyx down as 1-1, but I think they're actually like,
yeah, they're 0-1, and
but I think they're actually like 2, 3-1 because they've had a couple of forfeits in their group. So
they're also
mid-
0-1 on the sheets.
Mids asked, can you speak about how Deeks got shit on by a girl?
But
Sorry?
we can mention that.
Is that IRL or is that in game?
No,
Probably I
well,
it was.
Probably Anna.
Whoa. It was against Team UK, wasn't it?
yep.
Mhm.
And I don't think we struggled at all. Roof was not.
Why,
He was
you?
not. Can we just
That
say
was
about that
right.
series? And there was a little
We
tweet
went
from
we went into game 1, mopped the floor,
Yeah.
right before
thinking-
them. Not even
thinking
this.
this
Like,
is it, it's done, no bother, and then all of a sudden we start like
Nah,
trolling
out
this. We were just missing.
got
Mate,
bits of
I lobbed the Semtex at Jack mid round. I was
know,
like, we were just trolling.
It's a real thing, man. Amethyst did it. We clubbed this
Yeah.
team first map. We were like, yeah, it's done, mate. These are shit. And then we sort of just lacked off, got out of the zone, didn't really focus too much, and just let them fucking absolutely wipe the
Mhm.
floor with us. And it was like, well, what did we do there? Like,
after
no
we
way.
had, after we had fucked about and we lost map 2,
mhm.
we then lost map 3 as well, but
destroyed map
we
3.
we flank turned into the best player on the planet.
On map 3,
I
like
must
dropped like
admit-
35 or something.
I must admit, we flank had a great S&D in map 3. I'll be honest.
Yeah, and then we we thought, oh, here we go, we need to G up a bit, and then the hard point. What was the score on the hard point?
Oh, it was
Another
nothing
way
like
to
it was
floor.
250 to like 160.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it was a close game either.
Yeah,
And it was 6-1 in the S&D, so it was like the maps we won weren't. I didn't feel close at all. We were just trolling map 2 and map 3.
and it's nothing against the nay, but I think if we've got specs on, that's a
Oh, yeah.
35-minute series. It's not
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, of course it is.
I'd imagine.
I think we had like that mental feeling, like knew we had the series to jump straight into, and didn't want to be late to that as well. We're like, right, let's get this done now. And we're like, oh shit, we're going game 5. That's
Yeah,
annoying.
Team UK,
Alright.
if you're watching, yes, we are flying, and yes, we used it as a warm up. So enough.
Yeah.
of your time.
Literally just using them as warm up.
And then Div 7 main.
I
event.
will.
So,
I will say though, even though we just egoed your team there, Brez, you're a boy. I love you.
Yeah.
We'll go on.
so Div 3. Am I right in saying that we've got you down as 3-1 for Amethyst?
3-1. Amethyst. Onyx are 3-1,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
3-1. Yes.
So
Oh,
3-1.
across both leagues, yeah. I was-
Which puts you kind of pushing 4th place at the minute. I think you're looking at least you're in the playoff spots, but you're going to
I
be.
think we're already through, yeah, because
Yeah, there's-
two of the teams in the XP league are folding. I think.
You are, yeah, you're right there. I think your your wins, your series now are just basically a case of trying to get a better seed. I think you've still got Miff Esports to play. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that'd be a huge
We-
series.
we-
If you beat
we-
them, that makes a huge difference to your
We
seeding.
play
So
them. We play them on Monday night at 8
Yeah.
p.m.
that's a big one. Emerald, they are currently 2-2, but I think they've just been handed 2 forfeit wins, so that might even make them 4-2 or 3-2. But they've lost 2 series. I think they might be 3-2. I think it's 2. Yeah, 2 series that they've been handed as a forfeit win. So, but again, that leaves them kind of that lower seed going into. Yeah, I think they probably-
a few more games. We're 3-2.
3-2. Yeah, I think 3-2. So yeah, if they finish sort of 5-2, they've got one team in their division in Mighty Frog that are currently 4-0. So, I don't know if maybe what first seed looks like it's locked down now.
Yeah.
So they're just going to be playing their series for again that better seed going into playoffs.
Yep.
Then us in Division 5. Now this is
Number
spicy.
one, Ginger, coming to get you.
Now we are 5-1 currently. We are currently have the first seed. We've got Ginger in Arcadia Esports 4-0, and we've still got them to play. So
I will be casting that game.
I think it's safe to say if we beat them, we've guaranteed first seed.
Number one, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So
number 3 and 4, mistaken and against all odds.
we've beat.
We've beat
So
them. So if it comes
we
to
had
head
the
to
head
head,
to- We've also got Excite who are 3-0. They're a bit behind on their games, and I think if they go and win all their games, they again could still be in for a shout for first seed. But either way, we're looking at that first, second, third seed as being pretty much guaranteed, nearly. So yeah, not a bad result for us, boys. Then in Div 6 we have Axonite. I mean 5-0. Locked in for Div 1, for Seed 1. Going into
Might as well
playoffs, I
just give
think.
us a chip now, I guess. I mean, what's the point in waiting?
Nah,
But
but
they
they
got
also have
Sapphire.
Sapphire in there.
That's true.
Yeah, they've got a 3-0 Sapphire, and I don't even think they're going to slow down. I think it's going to be a case of who gets first seed out of Axonite and Sapphire. Again, a series that will be casting.
So,
Axonite.
so
And then
who are we saying is
My
going to win
boys.
that head-to-head then? Axonite or Sapphire? What are we saying?
Axonite.
Axonite, yeah.
I think
Axonite.
that's
Close
yeah.
out. Done. Chalk it up. Hang the sticks up.
As the Sapphire boys are good, but when Akuma does as much as he does, it's hard for one player
Yeah.
to do
Hmm,
what he does against Axonite.
yeah.
So
I
looking
think,
at Div 6, you really want them to miss each other later on in the playoffs.
Mhm.
A 22 grand final.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
yeah, it's one of them would have to make a loser.
Jack, don't do that to me, boy. Woohoo!
But I think with both of those being in the same group going into playoffs, they're both Group A. I think that helps with that run. I don't think they will likely
Yeah,
see each
they
other
don't.
till
Later on.
deep into the playoffs. Yeah.
Winners finals, maybe.
Winners
Winners
final, and
finals.
then one of them might have to, one of them will have to come up from losers if it
Yeah.
comes to it.
I
yeah.
think we're getting a
If-
22
could
grand
you-
final regardless.
Could you imagine that?
Ugh.
Oh, that'd be just.
We're gonna have some listenings. We'll
Mate,
have
I'd be
some
like this.
insane yeah,
Right,
it's gonna be
right.
some insane production going into that. And then rounding off with Div 7, we've got Aqua currently 4-1.
Jeez.
They've beaten a team that's 4-1 against them as well, so I think they're again looking good for that number 1 spot.
Yep.
And we've got
I'm
Diamond 0-3. Boys, what's happening?
Oh, with
What he's
all
doing.
3 games have been 3-2.
And they've been game
Yeah.
5s, haven't they? You're almost there, aren't you? In
Yeah,
those, I think a
4-1.
few bits that.
You know
go
what?
things, but-
We've had
On this, before you carry on, I'm actually gonna blame someone. Rowdy, I'm looking at you. I'm looking down this lens right now. Rowdy, telling you now. I brought you in here. I can easily take you away.
Well, surely I think
Hey.
you've not missed what you think you've missed. What's
Oh,
happened?
Yeah, he has been. We have made a
being
roster
benched.
change.
Yeah.
So we have
Oh.
brought in. We've just brought in for our game
Oh, okay.
tonight. In fact, we've got a game at 8. Is it?
8 p.m.
What's
Yeah.
the new
8
roster
PM.
then?
So it's
give it a
me.
ting.
It's me and A, and then Voltiak, and then Hazza. Hazza's coming.
Hazza is back in 22.
My boy!
What a boy!
But
The
yeah,
little slivering snake he is
On-
bouncing around and dolphin diving. Has him, my boy.
on our performances,
on.
just a word on our performances. I think it's been tough because of the way we've lost some of these games and these series because they've all been 3-2s. It's so annoying. We've had a bit of a rocky. Our first 2 series, especially, I think me and Ane felt not let down by our other 2 teammates, but we just weren't. It wasn't that connection wasn't
Careful.
like there.
I'm still there.
We've spoken
We
to them about
We've,
it.
we've
So
spoken about it. Everything's aired out. That's the good thing, right?
yeah.
We
No,
discussed
it's not.
it.
No, it's not. Let me clip your fucking stream next time, Baltic.
But
no, the potential's there. We just
yeah.
haven't got it together yet.
yeah.
Especially considering all our scrims have been.
But I think
reasonable,
with someone like Hazza,
been hurt
you
and such.
you've got a player that's going to come in and I think
Golf
support on
around.
that hill time. I think your hard points will be better.
Our hard
um,
points are strong anyway. We've pretty much won all of them, barring like one. I think
Yeah, but I think if you can just close out that if your S&D hopefully improves. If not, I think if you can close out that map 4 and win it 3-1, start getting some of these 3-1 wins in, it just helps. As the S&D's game 5's been close, have they been round 11s? Have they been
No, we've been spanked.
our S&Ds are awful.
okay? So
and that's and,
hopefully
and it's
just a new
down
player
to
there. Hopefully will help.
yeah, it's down to our individual decision making in S&Ds, and obviously not naming names, but they know who they are. They've made stupid decisions have
questionable
been made.
The only other
We
two
all have.
Yeah.
No, we all have. We've all been poor in
Some more than
search,
others, but
Yeah.
but there's been odd plays.
But that's
Yeah,
Div 7
it's
for you
just something
boys.
to
That
Hey,
is Div
hey,
7.
that's Div 7.
It's
Yeah.
just
That's what
something.
those Div 7 players do, mate. That's all you can say.
You just need to get some practice in, which
It's all right. We've got Aqua in there to carry on the legacy.
Yeah, yeah, the
So,
boys.
yeah.
But those boys, mate, they had, you know, they've lost a series. I think that maybe gave them a bit of a slap in the face because they were 3-0 in teams. That was looking easy for them as well. But I think that loss just brought them back down to earth, maybe. And well, their recent 3-0, that was a game 5. No, that was a round 11. That was a 250 to 249. So still close series, even though they're getting these wins. But that's the difference, I think, for you boys. I think if you can just start taking these around, taking these game 5s and closing these series out a little bit earlier, then you're going to hopefully be in. But you've got what, 5 games left still? 4?
yeah.
5.
So you got
six.
so you got plenty of games to get those results back up. Hopefully a decent seed is still there for you boys going into
And we
playoffs.
have our first 3 games have all been against
Those are the
arguably
tougher
3 strongest
teams.
in
Yeah.
the group, besides Aqua.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right, so I reckon we should try and wrap this up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I'm on 46.
yeah,
So
we've dragged this out a bit.
we do have an announcement. I will have to put you on a BRB. Well, we don't have an announcement. We have a teaser.
We have a teaser.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
going to have to put you on a BRB screen for that teaser to
Do
come
not
up.
go anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't go
Do
Do
anywhere.
not go anywhere.
I don't want to see that drop below 23.
Yeah. Literally. Everyone stay here. Trust me, this teaser is going to be nuts.
Give us a couple of.
Right. All right, and we're back.
And we're back.
We
And I
are
must say, we have gained
Gained 3
3 viewers.
No one
That's
left.
what we
mate.
like to
They listen
see.
to you.
That's
But-
it.
Alright,
This
is it.
that's the
Oh,
teaser.
can it be
Probably
pixelated a little bit less than that?
less than that.
Maybe.
Oh,
No,
well,
that's fine. Just
okay.
we'll,
Don't
we'll
wanna
just
show
we'll,
it,
we'll,
like,
we'll
it's
leave
just
just leave it to you.
We'll
Yeah.
let you to try and figure it out.
So
Callum,
next
that
week,
does not look like switcheroo.
next week, you will know exactly what that means. This
Yep.
announcement will be live next week, and let me tell you, it's huge. It's
It's a switcheroo, Carl. That's exactly what it is. Clearly, switcheroo.
It's massive.
Yes,
I-
that's
That
what-
is the Pokemon.
that's what we should have done.
yeah.
We I don't think I'm going to be available next week, so I'm going to miss this huge announcement. But I'm working
will
on being
be here.
available. The rest of them will be here, and mate, honestly, this announcement's wild.
Yep.
This is arguably bigger than the clothing line.
That's some premium of the gas. This better be worth
Arguably.
it.
This better be.
This has been an idea for months.
Months.
Yeah, we've been waiting for the right. I don't want to say anything.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
fine,
we've been waiting
that's
for
it.
the right
But it's
time.
happened.
It is
Shut
right.
up.
Yes,
That's all that matters.
but
Shut up.
again, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to do this again for the second week. Again, we go live on YouTube on Thursday and
Thursday.
Spotify on Thursday 6 p.m.
Happy
Wow.
enough.
It's-
And don't forget,
Yeah.
tomorrow midday, you get one of
Yep.
these. You can get one of these. Get them.
Get them out. Get them
the
out.
al- The
On-
alarm
get
set
the wallets out.
out.
On
Start
that-
memorizing your card
on
details
that,
off by heart now.
I want everyone in this stream right now to go and find that clothing tweet, get it shared,
Yep.
and I might actually make a little. I'm gonna make a tweet later, so keep your eyes open. This might be wild, but I'm gonna set a goal, and if we get enough retweets, I will buy 2 lucky people a hoodie. I'm gonna regret it. I know. But
Oh, McDonald's is pay well. I'm checking.
no, it doesn't. Oh, trust me, it doesn't, brother. Trust me, it doesn't.
But no, thank you guys for tuning
Well,
in again.
am I right in saying, Sean, that you'll be on this stream a little bit later on this evening? We got a game being casted tonight.
8. Can't buy me a PC. Definitely not as happy. 8 p.m. Don't go anywhere. Well, you can't go anywhere for a bit. Just make sure you're back. 8 p.m.
you can
Make
you
sure
can
you're
go
back.
and have your dinner, mate. You're allowed.
Yeah.
You get. Yeah.
8 p.m. Emerald. I will be casting, yes, and I think I'm joined by my co-host Snappers. We'll have to
So we
wait and
got
see.
got a game casted for you tonight. See you boys later.
Yeah, right. Catch you boys in a
Thanks
bit.
for tuning in, everyone.